Are we live yet? Can y'all hear me? Oh, I just remember what we forgot to do, but anyways, too late for that. Hello everyone, good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever. I appreciate that, Scrappy. Hello to you too, good sir. My God, Frederick, I appreciate it too. What is this? Start the stream and get donations instantly. I like this. I can get used to this. Yep, we finished Jedi Survivor. Yeah, I saw a clip of someone doing a force push with Anakin on Fortnite, and I'm like, God damn, that looked pretty fucking good. Just kind of blew the whole house away too when he killed them. I was like, man. What are we on? Anyway, oh, this is a Tekken, alright. Very good, very good. Addicted to Battlefront. Where were you when I streamed Fallen Order? Or Jedi Survivor? But I'm addicted to Battlefront! Battlefront viewers in a nutshell. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yeah, it's pretty sad. I was thinking about earlier how much or how many different skins or events or whatever you want to call them, updates, DLCs, Fortnite does that involve Star Wars, but yet Star Wars games, like, non-existent, at least multiplayer-wise. Like, crazy to me. If only. It's like Fortnite understands how much money there is to be made with Star Wars. Where sometimes I kind of think Star Wars doesn't necessarily remember how much money there is to be made with Star Wars. And everybody's like, oh, they're always greedy, but I kind of don't feel like it. They don't really make a lot of games, and they don't have a multiplayer game that's really going to carry now. It's like, I don't think greed is their reason for the lack or good success of Star Wars games, unfortunately. And we are rusty. We haven't had to shoot a gun in a long time. We in a dangerous spot. We gonna die soon. Missing our shots. Should have just stayed behind cover. Oh, one of them armed? Where's this guy at? Is he in the landing craft? I think that's a yes.
You gotta keep guarding the fuel supply.
I didn't even know Xbox did weekly quests, to be completely honest. I mean, it kind of makes sense if it's going to be the whole May the 4th be with you and shit like that, so. Sounds plausible. Wow, that was, we had a lot of spot protection there. Oh, we got some lag spike going on here. Eventually the kills will pop up, don't worry, we did get them. Well, I doubt they're available, but let's give it a look. Low stand. Well, Just because we talked about Anakin, we'll start with Anakin. I kind of forgot about Squadrons. I saw somebody comment the other day saying, am I going to play it again? And I'm like, I don't know. I forgot it existed, to be completely honest. Oh god, I can already tell I'm a little too confused with the controls for Jedi Survivor. I got in the habit of hitting A and B like simultaneously. Roll my thumb off the A into the B to do the jump dash, and now to dash here, I'm like, we're not that we ever do good anymore, but we're really gonna not do good. Calling it now. We gonna die. Oh, and we walked off too. I actually thought we would be hurt more, but I didn't realize we had a fin here. Otherwise, I would have just stayed on the damn thing. Wow, he just straight up missed me. Thank you, Kylo. First swing we take, we hit a guy that's not even near me. Fallen Order might have, or Jedi Survivor might have its issues, but yeah. At least you gotta actually hit him with a lightsaber. Just killed Morgan Freeman. I'm sorry, good sir.
Is the sun getting darker? Get it. We gotta secure the main gate and reach the base. Make it fast.
Oh, come on, you can jump. Yep. God damn it, Anakin. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm not gonna say anything. People will just say I'm being negative, but kind of makes sense. Jedi Survivors jumping in combat. You hit them, at least. Jesus. Side note, though, one of the things I noticed with Survivor, though, is when you're editing like you're scrolling through, going for screenshots to get the thumbnail. Jesus Christ, the frame rate on that game is so bad. It's so hard to find a good thumbnail because if you're even remotely moving, it's blurry. Where on Battlefront 2, that's a good thing they did. It's pretty easy to find in combat screenshots. You know, you do have some motion blur every once in a while, but for the most part, you can find a good thumbnail. Where on Jedi Survivor, it didn't matter what I was doing. It was always blurry. I was like, oh, come on now. Would have really helped out getting some nice clear thumbnails. There were so many good thumbnails, but like in action, like dueling someone, but it was just so blurry. I'm like, ooh, couldn't even use them. What console? A Series X. Which is actually pretty crazy when you think about it. You would think usually it would be a single player game that would be easier to keep a high frame rate than a multiplayer game. But you got all the different people playing in all the different regions over here, all in one game, but on single player it's just you. Oh, we didn't grab the heavy? Lucky day. Well, if I stay here, we're probably going to just get gunned down by miniguns. I don't even know what that was. But it didn't feel good, whatever it was. The officer's still alive behind us. Oh, we're teleporting! We're teleporting! Wow, that was a long distance choke there, good sir. My last Jedi Survivor? I didn't stream yesterday, if that's what you're talking about. But if you mean the previous one, I mean, it is unlisted. It should still be there, but if you have a notification of it. But if you're talking about yesterday, I didn't stream. Yeah, I finished Jedi Survivor. I really liked it. There were only 2 complaints, is the frame rate, which we just talked about, but there's one part, I love the story actually, I really love the story, but there's one brief part of a brief mission, I'm not going to spoil it, but it didn't make any fucking sense. But other than that, the story was pretty good. I loved it. The mechanics are so good. Oh my goodness. It felt so good when you're hitting people with a lightsaber. Especially coming from Battlefront 2 where it's just like all over the place with lightsabers. It felt so good with the lightsaber mechanics on that game. If we could get those mechanics into a multiplayer game, oh my goodness. That'd be amazing. Definitely wouldn't be easy to do, but it would be awesome if they did. Well, the Yankees finally won a game. How do I have so many credits? Because I have been playing this game since it came out. What are we on, huh? No, I didn't play with the red lightsaber yet. I didn't do the, what do you call it, a new playthrough yet. We started one, but I didn't get where I can customize anything yet. I was thinking about doing a playthrough on the hardest difficulty, but I don't think people would really watch that. Views had already dropped pretty far. Even the videos we're posting now that aren't really doing too well, so I think it's just time. Because we're looking for videos, that's why. We're not getting videos, we leave the game and go somewhere else. No need to waste time. No, let me see then. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll just put the link in chat right now. Especially since we're defending again. Actually, hold on. Good time to do it while we're loading. See if I can find it. I'll put the last Fallen Orders, or calling it Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor stream here. Let me set that. Unless I put it private. No, it's unlisted. Okay. Yeah, that should be it. That's the last one that I have on here. How did I like Jedi Survivor? I loved it. Again, the only real huge problem is at the end of the day, it's just a single player game, and as good as the mechanics and the story are, there's not much to do when you're done. There's definitely more than Fallen Order though, which is good. There's a lot more stuff to do, but still at the end of the day, I have, how do I explain it? I've been playing it slightly off stream too, and I have like one more thing to do where I know something interesting is gonna happen. But I know once I'm done with that, it's just basically going around collecting skins and then replaying it. And that, I already find myself losing interest in replayability, which sucks, unfortunately. But that is the type of game they made, though. It's not like to be expected out different, you know. We knew that going in. And they did improve it from Fallen Order in terms of that, so. But it's just not a game that's constructed to have that much like replayability, unfortunately. It's not like a Battlefront where you have multiplayer and stuff. Side note, are they going to have DLCs in that game? Does anybody know? Is there going to be like some new missions or new shit coming out every once in a while? I don't think they did that with Fallen Order, but maybe they'll do it with this one. Who knows? No, I didn't play Elden Ring. Usually I'm not into single player type games like that, but for Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor I make exceptions because they're Star Wars. I'm not really into those type of single player games. I probably would. I actually enjoy them, but just never really play them at all, I guess. For whatever reason. Do I prefer it over Fallen Order? Yeah, probably. Fallen Order is a little unique because it's the first time we had a game like that in a long time, so it has that going for it. But in terms of this game, I think I like the mechanics a little better, at least from what I remember. The story was good, except one little part that I'm not gonna spoil, but I just if you watch the stream, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, that just, it didn't make sense. But the rest of the story was really good. And like I said, I do like that they add more stuff to do, like building up that little town on Kobo. I actually really like that. They did a good job with that. Instead of focusing on your ship, you can focus on the town. I actually like that. That was a good thing they did. I still think they could have expanded on that even more. Plus, they had the little, like, what do you call it? In-game game. Where you can go play with all the characters you killed. I really like that. But sadly, there wasn't a whole lot to that. I already beat all the characters pretty quick and relatively easy, so there's not a whole lot to do. I wish they had kept expanding on that, like have random people come through the town playing, or have the characters you do play in that game randomize their decks. But it's just kind of like you beat them and that's it. It's a little too easy. So kind of like Gwent in The Witcher, there was so much to do. Oh my goodness, we could play Gwent for hours. But here I'm like, kind of beat it kind of quick in terms of the side, the little mini game. Now I'm not talking about the full game, but if you guys haven't played it, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you played Witcher, there's a game in there, and it's along the lines of Gwent. Not Gwent in terms of like a card game, but an in-game game that is addicting to play, and you gotta go against other people, and when you win, you get shit, you know, stuff like that. That game is actually fun, because like, how do you explain it? When you're playing Fallen Order out doing a regular mission, if you kill, let's say you kill a Magna Guard, you would scan him, and then now he would be in your deck. It's basically like Star Wars Pokemon. Once he's in your deck, when you go to play the side game, you can now have a Magna Guard that will fight on your board. It's like it's similar to the game, or maybe that is the same game that they play in their, what movie was it? One of the original trilogies. Chewie's like smacking the table when he loses and shit like that. I don't know if it's the same exact game, but it's along those lines where you get different characters and you can play in there and have them fight. It's so fucking fun. Yeah, a lot of people don't speak in chat. And I'm glad you're talking now. Glad Jedi Survivor can make you talk. Hopefully you like the last stream. You can figure out the Xbox. There's not too much to it. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. It's not like PC. PC, at least to me, since I'm never on, is way more complicated than a console. The Jarek? Yeah, something like that. Hollow chest? One of those things. Yeah. What are those things? Blue Cascade. You can see it there. Come on, just hit him. He's weak. Does he have a shield or something?
Update our position.
This TIE fighter doesn't want to get hit. Could be damaging the walkers, is probably always getting the point. Oh, walker.
It gets more dangerous from here on.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that cascade, because I was thinking about that this morning, actually, where I just said I don't want to spoil it, but I kind of want to talk about that, so I'm like conflicted. Should I? But for those who do know what I'm talking, well, even if I say it, it's going to give it away, so. Fuck it. If you don't want to spoil it, mute the mic for maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, give or take. There's your warning here. But the Jedi Survivor takes place the same year Kenobi did, the Kenobi show. In that show, we see Darth Vader get his ass handed to him. And also in this game, we see Darth Vader get his ass handed to him. I'm like, so damn, that was just a rough year for Vader. He's legit just getting destroyed by Seer and then by Kenobi, and he barely gets out alive of either. I'm like, that's a little weird when you think about it, but whatever.
Land to command. No sighting.
Okay, I guess well, it's not like they can hear me, but we're done talking about it. But yeah, you go. But for those who are wondering, that is the what I just talked about was the scene I didn't really like in the game story. Other than that, the game story was really good, but it didn't really make sense. Whatever. More Furious? Yeah, I finished it. I'm not in the U.S., but I'm not stationed elsewhere. I'm in the Philippines, but I'm not in the military. Just out here on my own accord.
We may have to step it up.
I never played Dying Light 2. I love the first one, but got bored. Well, I don't want to say got bored, but I played it longer than I played Fallen Order, but I never got Dying Light 2. Not yet, anyway, maybe. I was looking at games to start streaming other than Battlefront, like single-player games, but I don't know how well that's going to do on the channel. Because, not being negative, Fallen Order didn't, or Jedi Survivor didn't do, like, great. It did better than Battlefront, but like, not by much, especially considering it's a new Star Wars game. That usually, Fallen Order stream-wise did way better, but that was when the channel was actually still alive, so it's a little different. So I don't know how well those type of streams would go over with non-Star Wars games, especially. Like, what's that new zombie game that came out, Dead Island 2 or something like that, or whatever, something like that. Plus Dying Light I never played. Those are two games I'm interested in getting. There was even part of me that wanted to do a replay of Shadow of War. I have Game Pass now, and that's free on Game Pass, so I downloaded it, and I'm like, man, get the game for free, because I had it on PlayStation, and I played through there, but I obviously don't have my PlayStation anymore, so it's like, man, I could play through on Xbox again, and that's a single-player game that I think had more longevity than even Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor did. At least I played that way more than either of these, which is interesting, because they're similar in style, but I feel like there was more stuff, at least that interests me. Like getting different, like capturing different lieutenants and stuff and having them like defend your castles. Oh, I love that shit. Oh, I thought that turret was looking the other way. Why? Did I throw my grenades? Did I only have one? I don't know what's going on. Thank you, Kenobi. Yeah, Shadow of War is probably one of my favorite games. At least, no, I'd say it's just one of my favorites. It's just that good. I know it's only single player, but man, I went from that game. Legit got me into Lord of the Rings. I didn't even watch the movies. Was never interested in Lord of the Rings, but I played the game just because one of the YouTubers I watched was playing. I was like, man, the mechanics are pretty fun. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try this game out randomly. Knew nothing about Lord of the Rings, but it made me fall in love with it. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna fucking go watch the movies. I went back, played Shadow of Mordor, and then I watched the movies and did all that shit. That's how good the game was. You know a game's good when you can go into a well-known franchise where you haven't really even been interested, and then you play a game about it, and you're like, damn, I'm gonna get into this franchise now. Like, that's how you know a game's fucking good. And we're about to get overrun and die here by the looks of it. Reinforce your princess. Shouldn't push back up here. That's probably a mistake, but at least we have General Kenobi. Oh my god, we were just talking about Kenobi, and look at it. Now we're both here. And a side note, this isn't really a spoiler for those who haven't played the game but are thinking about it. You get a Darth Maul dash in Jedi Survivor, kind of like it's basically the same one in Maul, that Maul has here when you hit his RB dash. Oh my god, it is so fun using it, and it actually like registers. Oh my goodness, it's so fun. They made it really satisfying when you hit somebody with a lightsaber in that game. Yeah, there's not as much dismemberment as I would like, which would be awesome, but yeah, it feels really good when you smack them with a lightsaber. Give them a little smackaroo right to the face.
Signal from command. Transports are ready. Your rebellion will not
It is? Wow, I didn't even know that. I've just been craving Shadow of War. I don't know why. I've been talking about it a while where I wanted to do it. Go back and play it again, because man, I enjoyed that game so much when it came out. Now people are getting back into it. That's interesting. Wish they were coming out with another one, but I mean, spoiler alert, I think the story kind of stopped for that. But if they announced a follow-up to that, oh my goodness, I would be all over that game. I would fucking love that. But who knows? Maybe one of the reasons it's getting popular is that it's free for Xbox if you have Game Pass. I don't know if they're streaming on Xbox, but that's the reason I got it again. Oh, I love the impalings. That's one thing I wish BF2 had. Just stab a dude with a lightsaber, so satisfying. Pull them right to you and stab them. Jeez, that's one of my favorite things. If you had just upped the dismemberment on there, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious, that would be awesome. Like, they give you some, you chop off a hand or a piece of a leg, but it's kind of like Tolkien dismemberment, where they threw it in where you chop a little bit of an arm off, so we added dismemberment, but there's times where you're doing execution and the dude's on his knees and you swing right at his throat and you get the red dash on his neck, but it's like, now what if he had lost his head? That would be awesome. And to me, you could even add it even in Disney games, because we're lucky, it's with lightsabers, so the wounds get cauterized or whatever you want to call it, and there's not even blood. So it's like, technically you could get away with it without it being as gruesome as like other games, and they still don't do it. I'm like, what? Let's just ignore the original movie where Kenobi chopped his arm up and it was bleeding, but besides that, it doesn't do that. Yeah, they did a better job than Fallen Order. I agree, Christian. Definitely, to me, it felt better. I haven't played Fallen Order in a long time, but I really liked the way it felt. When I was hitting somebody with a lightsaber. It is annoying, but it's just the style of game where you have to hit a guy 50 times with a lightsaber and then he'll die, but you know what I mean, though. It's like, that's just the type of game, though. It's like The Division, where you shoot someone and you have to hit him 30 times because he's a high-tier boss or something. Nope, just came out here because I wanted to come out to the Philippines. Yeah, an option would also be good. They added an option for people who have arachnophobia and didn't want to fight the spiders. I'm like, you have an option to do that. Give us a dismemberment option at least. And just have that be a question that pops up. You know, when you're doing your first startup on a game, do you want dismemberment off or on? Boom, simple. Now you can all have a choice to have what you want, and everybody's happy, but sadly no. And it made a pretty nice sound when you do Maul's Dash too on Jedi Survivor. Yeah, the Nemesis system was pretty good. Like, it's not too often where I mean, that is an open world. Shadow War is an open world game, but it's, I don't know, it found ways to have more replayability. But at the same time, not be one of those big open world games where the graphics are shit and stuff like that. Like, those games are nice too, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. You can see a lacking quality of the gameplay. Like, the sword fighting is just kind of you smacking each other. Where that game, like, you would have awesome executions and shit. I'm like, there was a good balance between the two, where there's more stuff to do, better better sword combat. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, could you imagine trying to film No Russian today, or not film, but put that mission out today, oh Jesus Christ, the amount of backlash they would get for that shit. Yeah, I still watch Filipina P. She's definitely a must watch if you're gonna be coming out to the Philippines, no doubt. She doesn't hold back either. She'll fucking call out everybody. It doesn't matter. She's not gonna just sugarcoat like, oh, we're all amazing. Filipinas are all amazing. She's like, bro, some of us out here, you gotta watch out for these fucking whores. I didn't get the memo apparently, so I missed that video. Yeah, it does make it a lot more replayable. Plus, I just like the whole trying to capture a new guy. Like, oh, this guy looks good. Oh, look at this guy. It was a lot like Pokemon in a sense where, damn, I need this guy to help defend my castle. If I get this guy in here, it'll be really good. That was the game where I never buy microtransactions, but I actually bought a lot when it came out, and people complained about it. I turned it on briefly recently just to check it out, and that was one of the first things that popped up. Like, we don't want microtransactions, but it's like, it doesn't really have a lot of player versus player, so I'm like, I don't know why they would be so worried about microtransactions, but maybe that's just me. But I was trying to get a certain guy that you see once. He was like one of the top dudes in the game, or like a higher up, and I didn't get it. I didn't capture him at the time, but I was looking for someone with that same appearance, just because it looks so badass. I think it's like a dude with like 2 machetes or like swords coming out of his back. He was in the previous game too, that player model, and I was trying to find it so bad. Like, they actually got a nice little chunk of money out of me, and again, that doesn't happen. And for a single player at that too. But. Yeah, you gotta be careful. If you just come to the Philippines, I'm sure it's the same way in Thailand though, but you come where I'm at, like, you're gonna get offers, let's just put it that way.
Kylo Ren has been spotted.
Look at this kid who's going. Yeah, that too. Plus, what was that one? Like the gladiator arenas. Oh my god, I fucking love that shit. I wish they had given rewards better in that game. I don't know if they ultimately updated. I played it when it first came out. I haven't really played it since, but just getting like some badass dude you really like and throwing him in an arena. But for those who don't know, in that game, when he dies, he's dead. Like, there was one way to bring him back, but it would kind of. I never liked it because they would always be weaker. So it was kind of like once they're dead, I just left them dead. So it's like you throw him in an arena and you see him go on a winning spree. You're like, yo, this is awesome. Like, your champion's doing so good. And then all of a sudden he gets fucking decapitated or some shit. And you're like, well, he's fucking dead. It's like you lose the dude you like. So, like, not having him be able to just respawn magically was awesome. I love that shit where it's like, yeah, there was a way to bring it back without spoilers. But again, it would, at least when I played it, it would ruin the stats. And they just weren't the same. So I didn't really ever bring them back. Maybe there was a few exceptions to that, but for the most part, once they die, I would just let them fucking die. Yeah, I'm alright.
Let's get out of here.
I have no problem with microtransactions if you do them right. Honestly, I think Fallen Order should have more, but they're EA is so scarred of microtransactions now. They know everyone would bitch about them. Like, why do I have to buy this skin? It's just... honestly, I feel like it's gonna be a while before they can get back to that state. But like, that's a game where I think they should have some microtransactions. Put some badass skins or something badass. Like, you can have all these different lightsabers, but like, sell some, you know. But I'm not near Manila. I'm in Cebu. But what's the name of it? Maybe we got one down here. I don't mind it for multiplayer if it's not really pay to win. Like, I prefer just no pay to win at all. Like, this game had pay to win, but it was very not as bad as people fucking made it out to be. But again, people were just looking to be mad. But for just skins, I have no problem with that shit. Like a lot of these people complained they wanted to get rid of DLCs. I don't want to pay for a DLC. Okay, but you know they're going to need to make extra money. So let's have them buy skins. It doesn't affect the gameplay at all. You can get it if you want. You don't need it. It doesn't make your game better, realistically. For the people who do want to support it. Like, again, what was the game? Was it Counter-Strike? I don't remember. There was a game where you had to, like, buy, like, a $1,000 knife or some shit, which is just ridiculous. I don't know who the fuck would actually buy that, but, you know, it's like, people were getting mad. I go, but it's just, if you want to support the game, it's kind of like you want some legendary achievement. I wouldn't call it that, but, you know, some people would look at it that way, but it doesn't affect the game. It's not like some knife where you just insta-kill everybody. It's just a cosmetic. And they're not all priced like that. And, you know, you got a lot of reasonable price ones. That one's just kind of like, you want some crazy shit? Like, who's actually going to do this? Kind of like a troll. Like, nobody going to buy this shit. And somebody does, like, oh my god, somebody actually bought this shit. Wouldn't catch me doing that shit, but...
Starting up the ATE's pre-flight sequences.
Credits isn't pay to win because that's in-game currency. And it wasn't even that hard to unlock them with credits. Like that's not pay to win. Pay to win's using real money. And even here, like really the only thing you paid to win here was to get the star cards, and the star cards
Don't celebrate yet.
they help, especially who was it? It launched Boba's what is it called? His rocket barrage was fucking ridiculously OP. So if you specifically were buying just to get his cards, it would give you a slight advantage, but you then unlock those cards anyway very quick, so it wasn't really that hard of a thing to do. It wasn't like that out of reach for players. I didn't buy anything, and I had at the same time those dudes who paid to win, I'm doing air quotes, would have had it, so it's like, it's not really that bad compared to other games that are pay to win. The worst case of pay to win is like you get something super OP and the only way to get it is buying it. That is my 100% no, where it's like you can only get it through that. Like, that's where I really, you lose me on pay to win. That's fucking ridiculous. A lot of mobile games are like that too, which just fucking irritates me. And people don't talk shit about those Star Wars games. I forgot what game it is again. We always talk about it, but one of the Star Wars mobile games where you basically have to just buy everything, and it's like, that's ridiculous. There was this one dude, I forgot how much he spent, but he spent like a shit ton of money on it. And I'm like, why? I don't get the allure of that. Like, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe he was like a big YouTuber or something. So he would. It was kind of, it would be considered an investment if you buy a character and then now you make a video and you make more money than you bought the character for. That I can see from a YouTube standpoint, but still, just for average players, that's ridiculous. Nobody's gonna do that. Except you get those people who get addicted to it, and yeah, they just keep spending money. That's a different story. But
I should have told R2 to keep the
you leaked us? Yeah, I haven't heard of a place around here, but yeah, I'm still looking for a good Mexican restaurant. I haven't tried any Mexican food out here since the last time. I fucking got sick as a motherfucker. I ate it. What was it called? Maya? I ate at Maya's restaurant. It's like a high-end Mexican restaurant here. Before I even got home, I could tell I was going to be sick. My stomach was like... I could tell I was going to be thrown up any second now. So we got home just in time, and I was thrown up right after. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, we killed Kylo and lost, but at least we killed Kylo, I guess. Yeah, I think it's Galaxy of Heroes. That sounds familiar.
Sorry, gents.
I forgot who it was, but there was some dude who spent like just a ridiculous amount of money on it.
The Republic has some dark days ahead.
Yeah, again, even if you get credits faster though with the actual money, it's not hard to unlock Darth Vader. I know there was a lot of people complaining about that shit, and a lot of their complaints were wrong. There are people saying how many hours it would take to unlock everything, which is completely ridiculous. I forgot the exact numbers, but it was like, no, you don't, dude. I already got some of this, or would have had some of this shit by then, and it's like, that stat is just completely ridiculous. It would take you 500 hours of playtime. Like, no, it fucking doesn't. Shut up. It's the same way where people complained. There was a lot of false complaints, but nobody ever calls them out except me, apparently. One of the few. But there was a lot of people when they were talking about the star cards having to be bought. They were saying, the only way to get a star card you want, this is a specific argument I heard multiple people make. The only way to get star cards is to buy crates, which is or how do you explain it? Let me rephrase that. The only way to get star cards is to randomly get them in crates, which is inaccurate. Because you would get the, I forgot what they're called. Is it crafting parts? I don't know. You would get crafting parts in the crate, and you got those in every crate, and then you would go buy the card you want with those. You didn't actually have to wait for it to randomly give it to you. The random cards you got were just bonuses. Where, hey, if you got the one you want, hey, that saves you money. You don't got to go then buy it with crafting parts. But people really, a lot of the people complaining about that shit actually didn't know what they were talking about. Which is unfortunate. Because a lot of them, they all honestly helped ruin the game, honestly. They got it off to a really bad start. And there were plenty of legitimate complaints then. But there was a lot of just people who were just hating on EA. And they were just there to complain. They really didn't know what they were talking about. But if you said that, then you're immediately an EA supporter and shit like that. You know, basically the way anybody argues on the internet nowadays. The moment you disagree, they fucking call you a Nazi or something. It was the video game term of that, where I was like, you just support EA, and it's like, no, I don't. I'm just being honest, yeah.
Well done. That ATM-6's defenses are down. Use everything we got.
Yeah, guess we'll just snipe, nothing else to do. Not getting any good lobbies. Yeah, like the game was technically pay to win, but again, the amount of money you would have to spend to get a star card, that wouldn't really affect the gameplay too much. Except for Boba. Boba's, again, in the beginning, speaking of Boba, there he is. His rocket barrage was ridiculous. It would, like, if you landed it cleanly, it would basically, it would either kill a hero or bring him down to, like, next to nothing. That was ridiculous. But for the most part, star cards don't change your gameplay that much. I know people fucking hate that shit, but realistically, they don't. It's like, and the amount to actually get it, and plus you get those same star cards anyway without having to pay any money at all, real money. It's like, sure, on paper it is pay to win. If you went to court, that would be considered pay to win, but the level of it being pay to win is like not even that bad compared to some of the other Star Wars games out there that people have no fucking problem with, apparently. Then at the same time, then you have the counter argument is, oh, well, they make enough money off launch. When have you ever made enough money? Tell me when a company has made enough money. They are never going to see it that way. Like, you again, a lot of the people complaining about it aren't thinking of it from their shoes. They're thinking of it from their own shoes, but they're not thinking of it from the company's shoes. They're not going to see it that way. No company's going to see it that way. Again, there were plenty of ways to resolve it and add skins you could buy, which they unfortunately didn't do, which also helped lead to the downfall of this game. But it just annoys me. I was thinking about it this morning with Fortnite getting all the new stuff in there. It's like, there's a game that's not canon, but yet they put stuff in that game where, in this game, when they wanted to put a skin, they had to run it through everybody. And, oh, this isn't canon, we can't do that. And that's one of the things that hurt the game. There wasn't going to make enough money, and they were going to move off to the next game. Unfortunately, it's like in a perfect world, they wouldn't have had pay to win at all at launch, because even though, like, I just not defended it, but I'm just being real, it wasn't that bad. People were blowing that shit out of proportion just because it's EA. But at the same time, EA should have realized that people fucking hate you. Sometimes it's legitimate, sometimes it's not. But either way, they're gonna fucking hate on you. So probably don't put pay to win. It would just be a way to do it. Like, don't fucking do it. Put skins instead. Put some really awesome skins that cost money, and now you can make money. You can make actual aftermarket sales, or whatever you want to call it, microtransactions that are not pay to win. But sadly, those people still would have been complaining. And now those are the same people who come back years later and say how much better the game's improved, where the gameplay has literally went down the shitter and is completely ridiculous now, and they're like, it's so much better now. And then they're like, why didn't they make more content? And it's like, because they weren't making money, so they moved on. Like, but again, a lot of people don't think realistically when they talk about this shit. So. You're just defending EA. Like, believe me, bro, no, I'm not. I don't know if it would be worse or better if it did that. In some ways, I think it'd be better. In some ways, it wouldn't. But I don't know. That'd be interesting. But in terms of gunfights, it's the one thing this game did perfectly. I don't have any problem with the gunfights or the damage models. At least from just blaster fire, I think they're pretty well balanced. So, like, honestly, it's so good in this game already, I would be hesitant to switch it just because of that, but... In terms of lightsabers killing someone one hit, that would involve a whole rework of the way that the game implemented it, which I think would be cool. Kind of like, what is that game? We talked about it yesterday. Or the day before. What's that game? The old game? Jedi Academy or something? Where it's like there was a lot of swing and it wasn't great, like, looking combat, but when you hit someone, it would actually be like a lightsaber hitting them and that would be it. They're dead. Like, I think that would be a little cooler, but again, the way the lightsaber combat is in this game, they would have to redo the whole thing to make it be like a one-hit kill type thing. But I think it would be, that would be awesome, but in terms of guns, I wouldn't do it. I don't know, maybe I'll stream Star Wars Fortnite, but do I have to buy all the Star Wars shit? I'm not gonna go in there and buy it. It's gonna immediately put me in the negative just to get that shit.
The mine hangar may soon be lost. We need your help.
Elite resistance fighter on flight.
Both shuttles of history. Fall back further into the mine.
Yeah, I don't remember much of the squad spawn, but I think I do remember we used to spawn with heroes on people, and then they changed it. But either way, I'm still not a fan of the spawn system in this game, at least when it comes to squads. Like, you're all like the in combat thing. They should have, if they had still been working on the game, they needed to fix that. It's like you're in combat for just looking down binoculars sometimes. It's fucking ridiculous. He's like in the back of the map being completely useless, but he's in combat because he's looking down binoculars. Like, it gets to the point where you almost don't ever spawn with your teammates near action, so it's like you might as well just spawn on deployment anyway. I think Battlefield did a way better job of that, but... I don't know about Knights of the Old Republic, I never really played it, but... I think it was Jedi Academy is the one I'm thinking of, where... There would be a lot of swinging and shit, but once you did hit them, that was basically it. Like, they fucked your ass up. At least if I understand and remember correctly.
I'm in this for the money.
This rocket barrage did change a lot over the years. Now it's good, but it feels so much weaker compared to some of its previous states. Imagine doing a side-by-side with a boba for a launch boba with a fully upgraded card, or a fully upgraded boba now. It would just be like night and day, where it's like, damn, you insta-killed anybody. Now it's like, you'll do some damage. But that was one thing that I felt like they never could really perfect in their eyes. Felt like they always were messing with it. And I remember how bad the frame rate was on Kashyyyk, but it was so good on other maps.
They destroyed a generator.
It kind of felt like a Supremacy map at launch more than any of the other maps. I used to hate Kashyyyk because of that, and then they actually fixed it. They did a good job fixing it. Maybe Jedi Survivor will do that with their frame rate issues. It is doable. Battlefront did it, and to me they did it on a harder thing since it's multiplayer. I feel like it being multiplayer adds way more like complexity to anything that they're trying to fix. So I mean, if they could do it on multiplayer here, you think they could do it in single player? Who knows? They supposedly released a patch, what, yesterday or the day before? But I haven't heard if anybody said it actually improved the frame rate on that game.
I just landed. This is our chance.
But I think it was only for PC, so I couldn't even get on and check myself. It wouldn't really matter. I don't even know why we stayed for this lobby. We're not getting videos. Yeah, I didn't play Jedi Academy at all or very much. I don't really remember. That's how long ago that shit was. But look up gameplay of it. I keep seeing people bring it up when they talk about like lightsaber combat. Like, it looks bad from today's standpoint of things, but for back in the day, that was pretty fucking good. But there'd be a lot of jumping around and just swinging and, you know, very rudimentary lightsaber combat. But when you did get a hit, it felt like a lightsaber because it's like, oh, got him. You know, it's like a one-hit type thing. It's like, don't get hit or you're fucked. Not a bunch of fucking saber lock and swinging through the guy and shit like that. That's one of the good things about old games. They just somehow, they're so much simpler, but I don't know, maybe it's just because games have gotten too complicated over time. Now they don't really work as well. The more complicated you make a game, the harder it is to have everything work good. And we're defined. We have hardly anybody watching for Battlefront. Don't get too excited for Battlefront streams then. Maybe we will go play Fortnite. That's where all the kids are at, I guess. Go play Fortnite, Ninja! You're still up? Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, at least we're attacking.
Surviving units. We need more time to rig the charges on the droid factory. You've got to push those clankers back. We're all that's left, sir. You can count on us. Closing range. Starting kill sweep. Okay, troopers. You'll need to call for reinforcements and find yourselves a vehicle. We want to keep those droids out of the factory.
Okay, I didn't know that. 2 hits is still pretty good when you consider the lightsaber combat in this game. Good to know. So is there like a power stance and a light stance or all the different shit? I didn't even know there was different stances. Yeah, if I played that game, I must not have, because I don't really remember it then. I've seen so much footage of it though over the years, but actual play it, I don't even remember. I remember playing so many games when I was a kid that were Star Wars, but looking back, I don't remember what they were. We were talking about, there was one where it was on PC and it wasn't multiplayer, I was just playing single player, but you would fly around in space shooting shit. But I remember never being able to get an X-Wing or something, and it would fucking infuriate me. I would try to get into X-Wing, you'd see them flying around in the battle, but you would like always use like some little like random Star Wars ship, none of the basic ones. Like you wanted to use, like I wanted to use the X-Wing, I wanted to use a Y-Wing or something, but you would always get like some weird ass fucking ship, and I'm like, let me get an X-Wing, dude. Like, how do we have a space game with no X-Wings? I remember bitching about that one even when I was a kid. I don't remember what that game was called. I couldn't even give you a fucking clue on what that game was called. That was a long time ago. That was when I was a kid. Oh my goodness, I was like 20-something years ago. Jesus, getting too old for this shit. Where we were.
Uh-oh. The bugs told our clanker friends that we've got help inbound. Good thing we have an ATTE now.
No, we should be back on it. This stream's not really doing anything. We should be back on it. This might be the end of Battlefront. I don't know. I was thinking though, they have what day is it today? It's the 2nd? No. Yeah, it's the 2nd for you guys. So for May the 4th, they usually have sales on games, right? So I'm like, maybe might be a Battlefront 2 for PC and try some mods, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to buy that game if it's still $40. Like, come on. They've got enough of my blood, sweat, and tears on this shit. And money they don't need anymore. Maybe if it goes on sale. I don't even know. Where do you even buy Battlefront on PC? On Origin? Is Origin still a thing? I don't remember. I haven't bought a DICE game on PC in so long. Used to be Origin. I don't know if it's still that though. Or did they move it to Steam now? I could not tell you. Yeah, I played Squadrons. I actually really like Squadrons. That game had amazing flying. Oh my goodness, the flying was so fun on that game. That's a game I wish more people were interested in on the channel, but unfortunately it didn't take off.
Gotta be a bounty on my head by now.
Again, it wasn't really designed to be a long-term game either, though. But like, I followed a bunch of the guys who were like playing it competitively and shit, and actually having tournaments. Oh my god, it was so fun to watch. Like, you go from the basic kind of bland, boring lock-on fighting from this game, and into that game where you actually had to aim. Oh my god, it was so fun.
I'm really not a fighter.
They could have expanded on that though and added the Clone Wars and shit like that. They had been adding like new eras to that. Oh my goodness, I think the game would have lasted a lot longer. Steam and Origin. Alright, I'm gonna check it out. Maybe if it's cheap enough, we might buy it. We'll try it. I don't know. I'm gonna be horrible on PC, but to be fair, I'm absolute shit at this game anyway. So who knows? OPB.
Here, I liked you.
Teammate just shooting me. No bad guys anywhere apparently. Good night.
Don't let me be a bother.
Oh, you live? I thought we killed you.
Let's give it a shot.
The shields are down.
Hit him, Lando. Hit him.
Oh, the hot cell should be about ready to pop.
What to do?
They lost their shields.
I wonder if they would even demonetize if you played with the nude mod for Star Wars. Would they even be able to pick it up? Would the bots even look, since it's just a game where there's no nudity anyway?
We lost our window.
Like, I don't know. That'd be an interesting question to ask a Battlefront YouTuber on PC. Because, like, would they be... I don't know how they'd be checking. I guess they do have computers and shit that could obviously scan for that stuff, but if the algorithm goes to Battlefront and then doesn't expect there to be nudity, would they even search it for it? I don't know. I don't know how that shit works, obviously. We're just spitballing ideas here. Almighty, I have no idea what part you're talking about.
So many targets.
Ooh, just give me one shot.
Don't let me be a bother. Game for a challenge.
Well, here comes some Droidicas. Meanwhile, only one of our tanks is really doing anything. And this one does in this game. Or doesn't do, depending on how you want to look at it. Yeah, red light. I think we'd also just got shot, but the game was like, nah, you're alright.
Just keep the pressure on the transport a little longer. Gosh, they're good at adapting to our tanks.
Let's see.
They wouldn't really demonetize the stream, it would be videos afterwards. Streams, you can get away with a lot of stuff, but videos are the ones they'll notice that shit. Sure, you could buy the game now. I'd wait for May 4th, that's probably when it's going to go on sale. Usually they have sales around that time, so wait a couple days. Yeah, but my thing is nobody really plays on PC from what everybody that does play on PC tells me. you find one lobby with the same people and that's it. You just gotta play in it. And there's no new shit, you know. So it's like, or hackers too, and like, oh fuck, dude. That's the only thing that, or one of the things that worries me. But fuck it, like I said, this channel's fucking dead as fuck. So basically, anything at this point. Who knows? Again, I don't even know how to say it. Side note, next question in case I do get it. If I do get it on Steam, Battlefront 2 that is, if I do get it on Steam, is it able to be modded from the workshop, or do I have to go download some extra shit? I have to download extra shit, huh? From another site. You can't just do it directly from Steam. I love doing it from Steam. It's so simple compared to the other shit. I hate when I play a Total War game and I have to download it from another site. I do it, but I fucking hate it. I'm not good at it yet. But on Steam, oh my god, just boop, so easy. Subscribe and you got it. It's so good. And flick the on switch. I don't know why you get more games don't do it. I don't know the legalities. I'm not a PC player or anything, but all I know is if there's a Total War game where the mods are on Steam and I don't have to go to another site, oh, I'm a happy camper. I tend to play those Total Wars more than the other ones for whatever reason. Like if I want to switch mods, I just gotta check a box. I don't gotta try to go figure out how to download it, and then I'm so stupid I gotta watch videos on how to download it. Drag and drop here, do this, make a file for this. I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to fucking turn on my PC, let alone do that shit. I'm stupid as fuck. Yeah, see, I don't like using Nexus mods. I've used it a few times for different games, but no offense against them, but I mean, I'm just here for simplicity. I'm an old man. Just want to click subscribe and I got it. I don't want to have to like, okay, now you gotta move it here, you gotta do this. We'll still do it. If we get it on PC, we'll still do it, obviously, but it'll take me a while. I am slow with anything when it comes to PC. Frosty Mod Manager? Don't even know what that shit is. See, already sounds confusing. And two, I don't know if my PC can handle doing both at the same time, so that'll be the next interesting thing. And I really don't want to buy it and then it not work, and I literally just waste money. That's what worries me. But again, if I get it on sale, especially if it's cheap enough, we'll see though, we'll see. Hopefully I can remember to go look at what's the price on Steam right now. Well, then it's different in different areas, I guess. Yeah, but I'm stupid as fuck. You gotta remember, I'm stupid as fuck when it comes to PC. That's the problem. Fucking watching videos on how to do it, and then I sound like Bill Burr trying to fix an IKEA thing. Like, I said, what the fuck is this? Oh, wait, there it is. Like, it's shit like that, where I'm like, how the fuck do I do this? Oh, there, I figured it out. There's no file like that. Where did I put the file? Oh, there it is. Like, that's literally me anytime I do that shit. I think the last time I used Nexus mods, I think it was for Bannerlord when I played the Game of Thrones mod. They actually updated some of those Game of Thrones mods. I've been meaning to check it out, but I'm so bad at downloading them. I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I'll wait. Oh, I thought he was coming in here.
Phasma just entered the fray. Then you gotta load the mods in this direction. Oh, Jesus.
Clearly, I don't play on PC. A lot of PC players fucking roast me right now. Rightfully so, I don't know. I could take a bit of a roast.
That ATM-6 is vulnerable. Ski speeder and artillery units, it's up to you now. I don't like how close that ATM-6 is getting.
Yeah, if my PC breaks now, we're done streaming. It would take forever to make the money back at this point for one of these PCs. Either that or have my other PC shipped from America, but that obviously would cost a shit ton in its own right. Might as well just buy one on here.
Monster's got a chink in its armor now. Speeder and artillery units. Let's see if we can exploit it.
Oh, big stretch.
Ski speeders are fast, maneuverable, and almost completely unshielded. The opposite of what we're up against.
Wrong button? Wow, we are. I don't even know what buttons to press anymore.
Move in on that ATM-6 now. Artillery, help out, or take out some time.
Oh, I'm Rose. That's my fault teammate. Oh, and I died. Oh, Ibrahim. Plus, I just suck with a mouse and keyboard. But again, right now my gameplay's fallen off so far with this game. Like, I don't think it'd be that big of a difference. And again, you could use controller on PC. Yeah, but if you're playing on PC, you might as well get used to mouse and keyboard. Give me something to do. Right as we had a perfect line up on those four guys. What was the name of that PC? Cyberpower, I think. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting it from whatever that one was. Fuck that. Luckily, I don't think they shipped to the Philippines. So. Actually got a lot of computer stores out here, so. Most Filipinos game on computer when they do games, so I'm like, well, at least there's that. Yeah, let's go look for a new lobby. Skyrim's got a lot of different shit going on. I never played it, actually. It's one of those games that I'll play one day, but I have never got around to it. Even when my friends were screaming at me, I gotta play it, I still haven't played it, but... Yeah, we get all of them on Fortnite, but not here. And they gave her her Geonosis outfit too. Okay, purge. No, we can't do that in this game. We don't want to give a skin like that for this game. Meanwhile, Fortnite's like, fuck it, have them torque while they're at it too. People talk so much shit about Fortnite. At least they know how to fucking make money on a free game. Bro, there's no good lobbies. But I also don't want to play this after playing Fallen Order. Jesus Christ. Or Jedi Survivor. Shit's gonna be so fucking bad. Ninja, you just can play, Ninja, says the guy who will never talk in chat. Yeah, we'll let the gods decide. Thank God there's no seer on the other team. Just a joke, just a joke. I guess we're just standing in the back somewhere, running to our right. Oh, 2 and 2. We'll go this way because we're alone. Let's go all alone and we suck. Let's go. This seems like a good idea. But we are Darth Vader at least. At least we have that going for us. Yep. Jump, Vader. So close. Don't fall, Vader. Don't panic now, Vader. Don't panic now. Don't panic now. We're good. And the melee drops. You know how nice it is to force pull someone on Jedi Survivor and it fucking work? Oh, it's so good. Again, it's single player though, so it's a lot easier than multiplayer putting that in. But still, I'm just saying. It's noticeably better. Need some help. Oh, thought I died, but I just... Oh, red light. Oh, and now we're dead. Jesus Christ, we are lagging if you can't see it. Oh, we actually got kicked out of the game. Well, there you go. Either that or I backed out. No, we just got lost connection. Okay, well, is the internet down now or what? Realistically, I probably should just get off. I think we're done with Battlefront, you guys. I'm going to be honest. There's no viewers. There's not like 4 people talking, so. I think we're gonna just have to go play other games now because you guys don't want to watch this game at all, so. Either that or the PC thing we were talking about. Let me go check Steam right now anyway. We ain't got nothing going on. Nobody's talking or watching or interacting except you few, so. Let me go look here. Where the fuck is Steam at? Let me see here. I want to see how much Battlefront is before the sale and after. If they even have it. It's only $9 right now, actually. That's not too bad. I thought it was going to be like $40. Who was in here the other day saying it was like $30, $40? What the heck? Or is the... Wait, the sale might already be on. Hold up. Yeah, I think the sale is already on then. Hold up. Interesting. Yeah, the Celebration Edition is only $10 and it says it's 75% off. Interesting. I guess the sale's already on then. Interesting, interesting. Maybe we will just get it on there and go get shit on PC. How did I like Jedi Survivor? I actually really like that game. They did a really good job. Minus the frame rate issues, they did a really good job. Really like the story, except for one brief part. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played it, but there's one brief part I didn't really like, but whatever. But the rest of it, oh my goodness, it was so good. More replayability than than Fallen Order, which was good. Yeah, we might. I mean, like I said, nobody's really even here for this shit, so I don't know how much it will do good, or help the channel out. We start playing with mods, but maybe have a brief impact initially, but I really wouldn't expect too much, honestly. I think it's pretty much dead on the water now, but it couldn't hurt to try. It's only $10, it's not too bad. If it succeeds, we'll make that back instantly, and if it fails and we can't stream it, well, it's only $10. It's not the end of the world, so. It's not even just the modding. I could figure the modding out if I sit down. It wouldn't be that hard, but could the PC handle streaming and recording on the same thing? That's the real worry I have. Yeah, in terms of gameplay, I didn't have a problem with the gameplay in Jedi Survivor. I actually really liked the saber combat. But in fairness, I don't think most of those guys have played Battlefront 2 that much. So it could just be a case of me coming from a game where the lightsaber combat's so fucking broke now, to there it feels really good. So we gotta give that little tidbit out there. But I really enjoyed the lightsaber combat in that game. My only problem with gameplay, I guess you could count the frame rate as gameplay, but again, I'm not on PC. PC, they have it worse. They got it so bad, unfortunately. Xbox and PS5 are alright. PS5 came out on top, though, that's for sure. But even for Xbox, I mean, you notice the frame rate goes down, but it's not too bad. It'll go back up usually pretty soon. But on PC, though, you're supposed to be getting like 120 frames, and they're getting like 20 or 30. Like, that's ridiculous. And then the main thing is, how did the company not even... Well, it's not that they didn't realize. They obviously realized. Even some of the YouTubers I watched have already said they told them beforehand there was issues. And they just kind of wrote them off. But then it launches and they're like, whoa, we're sorry. Like, yeah, but you knew that shit was going to happen, huh, homie? Oh, BF2's saber gameplay is way better than Battlefront 1 gameplay, no doubt. 100% it is better. It's not clunky and shit, but the problem is here now, it's so bad now, you hit someone and you go right through them, you fucking get hit, you lag back to where you just were. It really fell off from when the game first came out. It was so much better. And then you go to Fallen Order, or Jedi Survivor, again, which is single player, so it's much easier to make it work than multiplayer. In fairness to Battlefront, but you hit someone, they get hit. Like, you don't swing through them, you're not getting lagged around because somebody's fucking hitting you, and then you just teleport back to where you're going, or teleport back where you just were. Like, but again, it's not multiplayer though, so at the end of the day, Battlefront's still the best saber combat out here in multiplayer, at least a modern game. Yeah, maybe not an old one, but like when we started the stream, our first time playing Battlefront since Jedi Survivor came out, we picked Anakin, and we went up to a dude not even looking, and we swung and went right through his back, didn't even register. Like, that didn't happen the entirety of Jedi Survivor, but the first swing on Battlefront 2 goes right through some regular just standing there, not rolling, not thinking of rolling, he's just standing there. It's like, alrighty then. But again, part of that, it's not even just the multiplayer, it's that we're having to play on servers so far away, so there's many different tidbits or whatever you got to throw in there, though. In fairness to Battlefront, or for single player, you don't got to worry about that. The one-hit kill was nice on regulars. My whole thing was the hitboxes in that game were ridiculous. You'd hit someone from so far away. Where here they kind of improved it. Now it's gotten bad again, but they did improve it. Especially at launch and like shortly after launch, it was so much better. Yeah, we heard, Austin. We were talking about it earlier. Fortnite adds more Star Wars stuff than Star Wars games add, which is pretty sad when you break it down like that, but... And even the, like, the force pulls and shit on this game just... Yeah. But again, we always have to throw the tidbit out there because I know there's going to be some dumbass who's just sitting here waiting and looking for something to be mad about. Love those guys. Literally won't talk, but they'll just wait and listen for one thing they disagree with and then just blow up on the channel. But it is single player, so it is much easier. They'll still get mad. They'll be like, oh, he said that. Oh, let me wait for something else.
Got assistance! Ally deploying!
I mean, Misa was talking about it earlier on Twitter. Like, yeah, realistically, I think we'll get Ahsoka in Fortnite before we get her in a Star Wars game. Like, they'll probably release Ahsoka, especially if it does well, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna have an Ahsoka update. Get to play Ahsoka and maybe one of those new bad guys, Titus Pullo or whatever that other girl is. It's like, motherfucker, dude. And meanwhile, the game they should be adding that stuff to, Battlefront, is dormant as a motherfucker, unfortunately. This is what game's still active. BF2? Depends on what you play on and what servers you play on, but yeah, I can find games no problem. And unfortunately, I'm playing from the other side of the world on the server I'm on, and it's still playable. The game has never been an amazing working game, but you will get a little more lag and stupid shit happening, but... We're playing, if you're playing on American servers, you won't have a problem finding a game. But if you're like in Australia or something, yeah, you're not going to be finding much. But I don't think you're in Australia, because if you only haven't played a few months ago, it was that way then too, so... Yeah, but if you're in America, you'll be just fine.
Hey, beat some for the rest of us. Not so smart now, or
ST power fluctuating.
Yeah, and honestly, the way they have movement in Fortnite, she'll probably be moving really fast and like doing some badass dashes and some shit. Like I saw Anakin do a force push from a clip on Twitter in Fortnite, and it looked so fucking good. He just threw both hands out and killed the dude. The wall of the house blew up and shit. It looked so fucking good. And then you go to Battlefront 2, you do a push. He's pouting, just standing there ignoring shots, which is weird. And then nothing breaks when he hits it. And the guy that you hit probably won't get hit, and he'll just ignore it. It's like, fuck, man. How can Fortnite do this shit better than the Star Wars game, man? Like, is there... I haven't looked into it, but is there a different game mode? Like, where you just play Star Wars shit? Or is it just you get the characters for the standard game mode on Fortnite? Oh, God.
fire.
I played Fortnite when it first came out, and I actually really liked the gunfights in it, but obviously the game is all about building forts and shit, and I don't really like that. The moment you get in a gunfight, everybody's building. It's not about being in a gunfight, and it's just like, That's why I'll prefer Apex over any day of the week, but that being said, Fortnite, whether you love or hate it, knows exactly how to make a fucking free game and be making bank on it, so... Talk all the shit you want about it, but they capitalize on Star Wars better than Star Wars games capitalize on Star Wars, which is really unfortunate. But it's not canon, we can't add it to this game. Meanwhile in Fortnite you got Mando and Baby Yoda going around seeing Anakin now and shit. I'm assuming they didn't take them out of the game, so it's like you could have that then, right? Like, why are they so focused on worrying about that shit for stuff like Battlefront? But yet they'll just do it for Fortnite. Like, it boggles my mind sometimes. Like, everybody knows multiplayer is not canon. Like, there's literally Luke Skywalker right now fighting battle droids in the Battle of Kashyyyk. Like, I don't know why they were so worried about canon for multiplayer. That doesn't make sense. Well, could we get a battle damage Vader? No, we can't do that. That's one thing people were asking for from the beginning of the game. That and Ahsoka, and we never got it. And honestly, you'll probably get a battle damage Vader on Fortnite before you get him on any of these games. Just play Jedi Survivor. It's literally all we streamed and all the videos we posted the last few days. You should check them out. It's a good game. But again, it's just a single-player game that there's not much replayability, so... Where if you look at a game like this, it's multiplayer, and you could keep making content for it each time a new show drops. You could easily have Mando in this game, you could have Gideon, you could have Ahsoka now, and whoever those new fucking saber users are going to be in Ahsoka. You could do it on all that. Skins for Kenobi, skins for Vader, you could do all that shit so easily here, and they just don't do it. And again, part of the reason, I don't know if it's true, but what they said was, or rumor has it, whatever you want to call it, is DICE would have a skin idea, and they were like, alright, and they'd have to send it to the higher-ups, and it would take forever for them to clear the skin, and it's like, why does it take so long, dude? Like, you add skins you could buy, man, you could help revive the game at that time and start making more money, but they just never did, so... It's like, come on, man. There's a zero build mode for specifically Star Wars. Oh shit. Next question, since you apparently know about the shit and I don't. Do you gotta buy the Star Wars characters? If I go play right now, they're gonna be available. I don't know how Fortnite works. I rarely play it. But zero build mode? Yeah, I played that one of the last times I played, but obviously not Star Wars, and it was much more fun. Because I actually, as weird as it is, I really like Fortnite's gunplay. It's simple, but works. I'm sure if I played it forever, I would realize there's problems, but just going into it every once in a while, I actually really like it. And for me, that's what I look for most in the game, is if it has good gunfights. So if that's true, man, hold up, hold the phone now. Gotta go do some emotes with Padme and get a good view, you know what I'm saying? That is definitely not a droidica from Fallen Order, or Jedi Survivor. That thing would have shit all over me. And the clones too, I forgot. Every time we talk about it, we don't even mention the clones coming in. I saw a bunch of videos of like clones doing dances and shit, and people were like, oh my god, what is this? No, Lucas, there's no Battlefront game anytime soon. Unfortunately. Have to buy them. If it's not too expensive, I might. We'll see. Kind of want to check out all those characters. I don't know if I could do that. I'm just kidding. I don't need to strap on for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at her right now. She don't even know. You gonna get it tonight? She's like, huh? Why? We gotta go shopping later, baby. We need to get a big 12-inch black strap-on dildo so I can fuck the shit out of you with it. He donated for it. What can I say? I'm a man of the people. What can I say? Yeah, Cameron, we've heard a lot about this fucking mythical game for so long now, and to be honest, we haven't heard shit about it. Right? It sounds good and all, but they keep fucking... There's so much rumors about Star Wars games that we never get shit. They're like, oh, there's this one open world game Ubisoft's working on. Never get anything. Oh, there's the Star Wars shooter coming out. Never get anything. Like, I don't know. Doesn't excite me at all. That shit need to be coming out now, or it's not gonna matter to me. This channel can only hang on for a few days longer, max. Like, we need that shit now, not in 3 years. Especially when we've already been waiting that long for it. Same with that one, I already forgot the name. They had that badass trailer, got everybody excited, and then they come out and say, like, we literally don't even have people to work on it yet. We just made a trailer to get you all excited. It's like, that's such a stupid idea. Oh my goodness, that is a dumb idea. And then it won't come out, and then they're gonna be like, oh man, why? All the fans are gonna get mad at them again. Like, that was such a good game, and you canceled it. Meanwhile, at that time, Fortnite will probably still be doing Star Wars skins of some new shit. You'll get adult Grogu running around and shit. Like, what is going on here? Yeah, Eclipse, there you go, that's the game. Yeah, that game is amazing, and it's awesome as the story sounds. Really interests me, but they released that shit before they even had people to work on it. That's, from what I understand, right, they did the trailer to also try to get people to come work for the game, get them excited to work on the game, but the fact that you have that detailed of a trailer and you legit don't even have the basics worked on yet, that screams like that shit's not going to be coming out. Anytime soon anyway. If we even get it at all, to be fair. Oh, Dylan. Yeah, that's why I don't get too excited for those rumors. Yeah, Star Wars 1313 looked interesting. A lot of games look interesting, and then they fucking run out of steam halfway through development or whatever, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, I'm legit getting fed up with Star Wars, man. Like, they have all this fucking money, all the resources in the world, and they have the power over one of the best franchises in history, and yet they still fuck it up somehow. And again, as great as Jedi Survivor is, which I actually love the game, I'm already done with it after like 4 days. So like, you spent all these years to build the game I'm gonna play for 4 days, where meanwhile games like Battlefront, love it or hate it, I played it for like 5 or 6 years now. So it's like, you need to make another, again, they need to be making a good multiplayer game that has a lot of longevity, can keep adding new characters, updating as new characters from shows come out. Then you can have the Fallen Order type games that are really solely focused on story. You know, a little bit of exploration and like traveling around, but it's mainly a story game. And then you could have games like this rumored Ubisoft one, where it's going to be a massive open world and shit like that. Like, to me, they have the resources to do all that at the same time. Especially if you then like layer the releases. So like one year you get multiplayer, 1 year you get Fallen Order, 1 year you get open world. Like, they could be making a killing off Star Wars, I think, from games alone, and these guys are fucking dumb as fuck, apparently. And then you get all the people on the internet coming out saying it's just because they're greedy, but I'm like, if they were greedy, don't you think they could be making these games? and making a shit ton more money. Like, so I don't think it's greed. I don't know if it's incompetence or for all I know, maybe that Disney wants too good of a game, and then they come up with an idea and they try to get it to a studio, and the studio agrees because they want to work with Star Wars, and then as time goes on, they realize this game's not achievable. They don't have the technology to do it yet. I have no idea, but however you look at it, we never get any fucking good games except Jedi Survivor. That's the only thing we got. Then they fucking release some shit mobile game and be like, yeah, mobile. It's like, that's fine. You can do mobile games. I don't mind you doing mobile games. I realize mobile gaming is foreign. It is to me, makes a lot of money, but still, you have the resources to make games in other categories. And it's just like you gotta do something. They don't. That's one of the reasons they didn't make Battlefront 3, and they moved on to Battlefield, because they had to buy the license for Star Wars. But again, they could make money on here. You start adding all these new characters in, keep updating with maps, and then if you have a bunch of skins you can make money on, people will buy the skins. I will be one of the people who buy skins a lot. But yeah, they don't do it. And it's just like, I feel like they could, because honestly, like, even talking about just making a new game, realistically, they could have kept going with Battlefront for many more years. Just keep adding maps, keep adding new heroes, for example. And this time, what have we had since Battlefront 2 came out? We got Mando. Now we're going to get Ahsoka. There's already 2 big DLCs right there. And then if you go in between those DLCs with other characters from, just like the Clone Wars, if you wanted to stick to canon, you could do that. And if they really wanted to expand, and since, again, multiplayer is not canon, then you could go into like Old Republic stuff if you really wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could do it. And they don't. So there's plenty of opportunities for maps, characters, and skins right there alone. And on top of that, again, when you're waiting for Ahsoka, boom, now you got a new show out. Like, it's possible to do. Fortnite's an example of a multiplayer game that makes a fucking killing, and they don't even have to buy the game. It's doable, and Star Wars, to me, has the best options to do it, but their leadership is just fucking stupid, apparently. I don't know. And again, I'm not talking shit on Jedi Survivor. I love it. I've probably been praising it more than some people have, but again, I'm already done with it 4 days after release. And like, there's a couple more things I could go do, but it's not really good to base a stream on it. Maybe I will, just because I don't want to stream Battlefront, but it's like, once I do those last couple things, it's like there'll be a little bit of exploration where I can go and find some more skins or shit, but none of the skins really are that drastic. So it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm done already. So it's like, come on, man. And again, there's nothing wrong with those type of games, but when that's the only game you're putting out, it's like, I feel like they're missing a bunch of money they could be making. Just imagine if they put Revan in here. They're like, hey, we're going to do an Old Republic or whatever you want to call it update, and they're going to put Revan. Like, that alone would get people excited. And then you make a trailer for that too? Oh my goodness. You know how many people would get into this shit? Like, I know they're not coming back to this game. I'm not trying to give you guys hope for it. It's not happening. But imagine randomly they put out that there's going to be a new DLC, a free DLC even, and there's going to be Revan and whatever else you want to add to it. You can add some more content to it. You get a couple maps from that era. You get Revan, shit like that. Some new, like, ground units instead of, like, clones and stormtroopers, for example, whatever they had in that era. You know how many people would fucking flock back to this game instantly? And then if you do a good job and you put some skins in there, there you go. That would make you a shit ton of money, even if the DLC was probably free. I guarantee you, if you do that, there will be people who haven't even bought the game originally buying it. Like, it would be a way to bring life back to it, but they just don't do it. And frankly, I'll even call them out that even when they were still working on this game, DICE had such a small, what do you want to call it, like, group of people working on it. It was obvious the DLCs they were doing were fucking stupid. The only DLCs they released were ones we already knew we were going to get from launch. There was no making new shit. We already knew from launch, basically, we were going to get this. And they didn't. There was no pivoting to new content. It was like we know what we're gonna give you. Once we give it, we're fucking done. And when they did do other updates, it would be something simple like, oh, we have Ewok Hunt, which is very basic. You just take an Ewok map we already have and take units we kind of already have, and then we just move them around. And then they're like, let's put Ewoks in the main game. And now you run around with Ewoks. But again, that's just moving already made content to another game mode. That's not a new DLC. But sadly, even at the time, people praised it as being something new, where in reality, you should have been calling them out. Like, wow, they're just doing what they can with what they have. Like, oh, they made Supremacy Ninja. Yeah, and all they did was port this map and then put flags on it, and it plays like shit because it wasn't designed for that. They've rarely designed any new maps, and it's just... And I feel like they could have avoided all that. You give them a big enough team to work on, you get the backing from the higher-ups, this game could still be making a fucking killing, I think, but unfortunately, dumb people prevail like always. Now imagine you have this game still going well, adding new characters in. Then you get games like Fallen Order coming out. Like, there you go, man. Now Star Wars gaming's starting to get a whole new look on life. And if I'll even say, even if you go back a couple of years or 3 years, whatever it was, and add Squadrons into it, I know not a lot of people played it, but it was another good multiplayer game that came out with really good gameplay for Star Wars. So now you've got ground combat. This game does have flying too, but you know, you have a solely flying game with really good mechanics for the fly dudes out there. And now you have a single player game which can carry the single player. Now the only thing we wouldn't really have is a good open world game, but now that rumor of Ubisoft working on it would get us excited because we would have basically all the different sectors covered. But that's not the world we live in, and now we have just Jedi Survivor. So, yeah. Fuck it, make me head of Star Wars gaming, dude. I'll fucking get this shit done. I'll fire those who don't get the job done. Fuck it. See, that's what annoys me. Yeah, the mods are good and the modders are doing a great job. But at the end of the day, Disney should fucking realize, yo, we should do this and make money off of it. These guys are doing it for fucking free. We're paying you guys to make a good game and make us money. Fucking make it. Yet they don't do it. And it's just like there was no reason this game had to die. Like, realistically. And honestly, if they were doing that, if they had been updating the game the way I was just talking about and adding all the different skins to buy, you wouldn't have to worry about paying the extra bit for a license for Star Wars contract, which then means Battlefield wouldn't have been made or delayed and made somewhere else or by someone else. But you wouldn't have needed to worry about money because you're going to be making a killing off Star Wars. It's just like... How long Survivor? I played it for 4 days and I beat the story. I still got a little exploration to do. If you played Fallen Order, there's more exploring to do than on Fallen Order, which is good, but the skins are better. There's more customizations. They did do a good job with that. But like I said, 4 days after launch, I'm kind of already done with most of it. I can maybe extend it to 5 or 6 days if I really want to drag out the last couple things I can do slowly. But at the end of the day, you get a game that you play for a week, really? That's not the type of games I'm really into. As much as I like it, it's not a game with longevity, but good for what it set out to be, though. Like, I don't even want to hate on Dooku's pajama skin, man. Make that Dooku pajama skin if you want. But if that's it, that's it. I mean, I roast BB-8 all the fucking time. But I don't have a problem with them being in the game and even in multiplayer. I don't think they're balanced properly, but I don't mind them being in the game. But it's when that's the last shit you put in, when there's like a bunch of other shit you could have put that's like infinite amount of times better. That's where I started having a problem with them. It's like, I wouldn't mind if they just threw them in randomly. Like, alright, this ain't the best DLC. I'm not really looking forward to it, but it is new content. Kind of like filler content when you know, if you're waiting for Revan or whoever the fuck you're waiting for. Ahsoka or something, you know. Like, I wouldn't be against it. Again, I wouldn't be that excited for it, but, you know, hey, you're not going to love absolutely everything, so. But when that's the last thing you put and they're that garbage and unbalanced, it's like, why, dude? Oh wait, it's just because the higher up said, hey, we need someone from the new movies and we don't have shit, so let's just put you. That's realistically what it boils down to, unfortunately. No, I really like Jedi Survivor. I really like Jedi Survivor, but it's just a game that doesn't have a lot of longevity. Especially if you're looking at it from my shoes, if you're trying to keep a channel alive and have stuff to stream. Like, we could have been getting like 50,000 views on it, but there's not much to do. Even if I extend it into what do you call it, Grandmaster playthrough, whatever the hardest difficulty is. Okay, there's another week, maybe 2 if it's that hard.
Solid hit on the FTT.
We're still not even in a month, so it's like, from a streaming standpoint, it's good in the short term, but it's not a game you need for that long. Again, if you pair that with other multiplayer games and shit, oh man, I would have no problem with Jedi Survivor. It's set out to tell a story. It's a story-driven game, and they did a good job with it. It's a good game for what it is. Those games aren't designed to have that much longevity, so they did a good job. Don't want to sound like I'm talking shit about it, but... Damn, Cameron, you got here a little late. We were talking about Shadow of War a lot before this, before you got here. Love Shadow of War. We were using it as an example of a single-player game that has more replayability than Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. They had more stuff to do. Just little things like capturing the different lieutenants or whatever you wanted to call them, different orcs. It's like Pokemon. Like, it's a little side game in the game, basically. And oh, I want to get this one. Let's go find him. And you got like the Nemesis and all that shit. Like that was a great game, honestly. We were talking about, I might even go back and stream it here soon. This Battlefront's just really not doing anything at this point. But we'll see. And since I have Game Pass, it came out, it's free on Game Pass, so I already got it. Again, I've already played through it on PlayStation, but don't have a PlayStation anymore. So now I get it on Xbox for free. You got my attention. Did I like the characters from Jedi Survivor? Yeah. I like Dagon. Then, what's his face? I forgot his name. Ravis. I like Ravis. Again, 2 heroes you could add to this game if you wanted to.
I got point.
I mean, if you really wanted to break it down, you could even add Seer and Cordova into the game. You could even add Marin into the game. Like, there's so many possibilities of characters you could add here, and it's just... And frankly, I think all those characters are better than BB-8 and BB-9, to be completely honest. So.
Separatist leader is on the ground.
Play 2015 every once in a while. Occasionally somebody donates for it and we'll go back on it. Did I shoot? There we go. Speaking of BB-8, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh, hello, that's your bad guy. I actually really like Malicos. That is the character I would love. Like, I'm still interested in him. And plus, side note, this is a Spartacus actor, so I mean, just from that standpoint. I am Spartacus. Like, wait, what? I thought you were. You sure your name's Spartacus? Wrong show, motherfucker. Honestly, I probably like that character a little more than Dagon. I mean, I don't know. Let me take that back. I don't know. Either way, they both have really interesting stories and background. I wouldn't mind diving into either, honestly. Yeah, that is probably the only problem you would have adding more and more characters, is a lot of them are going to start kind of seeming similar, but to be fair, the game to me already is like that. The Jedi either have knockdowns or overheals. That's the two things these fuckers can come up with for them. So bad to the point, even for when they just changed the Wookiees, we're like, oh, now they're going to give them an overheal. Like, oh, the Wookiees have too many knockdowns. What are they going to do? We're going to get rid of it. They're just going to give them an overheal. And what do they give them? An overheal, because that's literally all these guys can think of. So, realistically, they already are like that, but... Like, I know it would be hard to add different, like, abilities that really, like, are detailed into the game, especially after launch. But just like in Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, when you grab a guy, pull him to you, and you impale through him. I would love that shit. That'd be awesome.
Weapons ready.
Who's death? Malicos or Dagon? Who are you talking about?
Be careful, brothers.
And anyway, haven't they been reworking on Knights of the Old Republic? And like, have we not heard anything of that either? Like, what is going on, Star Wars? The shows are kind of meh of late. Games ain't coming out, and like they're just, I don't know, man. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back to California. I'm gonna apply to be the manager. And like, do you have any experience? No, I just like Star Wars. They'd probably do a better job than the people you got there, to be honest. I don't even remember what happened to Malicos, to be honest. Refresh my memory. I just remembered I loved him in the game, but I don't really remember. I haven't played it in so long. Refresh my memory.
Front pipes clear of bombs.
Yeah, I forget they're doing a remake, and then I remember, what was it, on Twitter? I saw somebody post a picture, and I was like, oh, well, yeah. And they were basically saying, whatever happened to this? We're doing this still? Like, yeah.
Someone's landing. Enemy leader, maybe.
Like, I'm not so sure I'd like Knights of the Old Republic's, like, mechanics, but fuck it, man. There is a gap. We need to fill it with some Star Wars games, man. Get it out there. I'll fucking play that shit. I'll probably love a lot of it, but I don't know if I like the mechanics. That's the only thing that worries me, but the rest of it will probably be fucking amazing.
They've set charges at the rear pipe. Time to head back.
I played Fortnite off and on. We were talking about it earlier. We might go over and play it. Depends on how much the characters cost. If it's reasonable, I'll probably go over there and buy some, you know. Either that or buy Battlefront and do it here. I don't know. Realistically, I should probably just buy Battlefront on here regardless, because 75% off is a pretty big fucking sale. Struck me back while you're here. Thank you.
Damage to the cruiser. We lose the front, we lose the ship.
I appreciate it, Aaron. Yeah, I finished it, but this last particular season of Mandalorian, I don't want to get into it again. We've already ranted about it enough, but yeah, it's a definite drop-off in level of writing compared to the previous two seasons, let's put it that way. And again, if you've been watching for a while, you know exactly why it happened, and we backed it up with a shit ton of fucking evidence, too, that supports it. It's not just me making opinions, but that is unfortunate.
Watch out! Enemy leader on sight.
And then some of those ships disappear if we really want to get into the ships in the Mandalorian. They have one scene with a bunch of ships, then all of a sudden some of those ships are missing, and then later they don't even show what happened to them. They just kind of don't exist anymore, even though they were just in formation. So.
Power spiking. Emergency in the front pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember that with Malicos. I'm gonna have to rewatch it back. I think I'm gonna Google that later and watch it back.
No shame in losing these numbers. All aboard.
Who knows? Maybe he's still alive. I wouldn't be mad, but again, they do that all the time with Star Wars. I had a dream last night. They brought someone back in Star Wars recently, but I don't remember what it was about. But I remember being all pissed off in my fucking dream. I don't want to get into it too much, pal. We've already talked about it. Go rewind or go find some of the old streams. But the writing for the season was horrible. Clearly, they did not intend to have Grogu be back with Mando, and they rushed it back in Book of Boba. Fucked up the writing for Boba. Took some of the time out of his show to fit him in there, and then they rushed him back here where he's not supposed to be. To me, basically, they had a whole thing written out for Book of Boba and Mandalorian where Filoni and Favreau wanted the story to go, but after the success of Grogu, they wanted to bring him back. So all of a sudden, now you have to change up some of the writing for Boba to fit it in there to make it make sense why Grogu's already back in Mando season 3, even though you just spent 2 seasons building up to Grogu leaving, which was an amazing 2 seasons, and then all of a sudden, not even in that show. By the time the next episode comes out, they're already reunited, completely negating all you just built up to. 100% that is a higher-up decision that fucked up the writing of those 2 shows, and I'm worried it will even carry into Ahsoka, because they'll probably be in there, but I'm hoping not. But we'll see. I appreciate it, Aaron. It is a possibility. I kind of want to do that, honestly. I don't know. I'm not the best vlogger out there. I've dabbled in it briefly when I went to MLG Anaheim, but it's a possibility. My girlfriend actually wants me to do it too, but we'll see. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ideas for channels right now. I don't know, but I'm slow to do anything. But once I do it, I go all in. So could be that. Could be a reaction channel. Could be so many different things we're thinking of. We don't know. I'm slow to do anything. Don't expect it tomorrow. Let's put it that way. I got some interesting stories I can fucking tell from being out here already, so. Or thoughts and like. It kind of be more along the lines, I don't know if you've watched, but there's a YouTuber called Gio in the Philippines. I think it would be more along his lines. Like it gives you tips and tricks if you're trying to come live out here and shit like that. Shit you gotta know, the type of girls you gotta watch out for, you know, the differences in culture from here to there, you know, shit along those lines. Throw in with some vlogs and shit. Could be good.
Disperse the clone attackers.
Oh, I've talked about the Grogu thing 1,000 times already. I'm all talked out about it. I don't want to say all talked out about it, but it was such an obvious higher up decision. We called it the moment we saw it in Book of Boba. We made a few predictions in this channel's career, and that was one of them where we're like, oh shit, man. I got some flack when Book of Boba was coming out where I'm like, this shit doesn't fit. The Luke and Grogu stuff is, the scenes themselves were good, but they were not placed properly. Basically what I said is they should, for this season of Mando, well, one, he should have been in Boba anyway. That would give more time for the Boba show to focus on Boba and his story and help make the writing a little better for that, which we all said it kind of, his current line story felt a little rushed. There wasn't a lot there. That would have, getting rid of Grogu and Luke scenes would have helped that. Then going into the Mandalorian season 3, you would have started with Luke and Grogu being together, and Mando's off doing his own thing. So you'd split time between what Mando and Bo are doing and what Luke and Grogu are doing. And for all these boring episodes of Mando, or I don't want to say boring, but not as exciting, you would then have some time where you cut to what Luke and Grogu are doing and help make it exciting. So you'd get all those awesome Luke and Grogu moments spread out through this season and focus more in depth on them. So it wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, he was there, oh now he's back, yeah, he was there for 2 years. Favreau had to come out and say that now, and basically say that, yeah, he trained with Luke for 2 years, but we didn't show that in any of the writing, but yeah, we did that. That's another hint that it wasn't his plan and they had to pivot and fucking just make it happen because some dumbass higher up thought so. But now imagine the season getting shot where you spend some time with Luke and Grogu, and then coming up towards the end, you then leave off the season, or the season finale of Luke's decision with Grogu, or Grogu's decision. Do you want to stay with Luke? Do you want to go back with Mando? In there, boom. Now you're excited going into season 4. But they wanted to rush all that in Book of Boba, which took away from a lot of the Luke and Grogu scenes, which doesn't make sense. And now this season felt all over the place, and it really, Grogu was not supposed to be with Mando at all this season. I'm willing to bet money that that is how the writing was originally planned, but some higher up thought, you know, let's let's bring them back. And I'm not even sure it was about making money, because they could make money with Luke and Grogu for merchandise. But I have a feeling the reason they did it was because some dumbass higher up thought he knew better. And basically it was a lot of the dynamic this season, and a lot of the complaints from Mando was that this is the Mando show and Bo's taking center stage a little more. So they really thought they were going to fuck up the dynamic too much, where Mando's not going to take the focus, and we don't have the father and son of Mando and Grogu together. So some dumb fucking idiot thought, you know what, we should bring them back so we at least keep that father-son dynamic. Which completely negates the writing of the previous 2 seasons. You still have the problem with Bo. I didn't have a problem with it, because I kind of see what they're doing, but I can see where people do have a problem with it. But now you have 2 problems. To try to fix one problem, you didn't fix it, and you just made an even bigger problem. And not even just a bigger problem for season 3. That writing change then had to fuck up Book of Boba, and it fucked up the build up in the first 2 seasons of Mando to get to Grogu leaving. So he legit tried to solve a minor. It's like you get a paper cut, and oh, I need to solve this paper cut. Here, give me a samurai sword. Let me chop off my arm. It's like that doesn't solve the issue. You just made a bigger issue. That you just a complete fucking idiotic move. Where if I'm the boss of Disney or whatever, I'm firing whatever fucking idiot made that decision. That is so stupid. But to be fair, if I was the boss and they brought that fucking idea forward to me, I would have probably just laughed at them and said, "No, fuck you, get out of here." There we go, I'm done. I don't even think it's just them writing to keep it going, because you could keep the story going with what I said and it make perfect sense. You would have still had Grogu in here. Would have capitalized on Luke and Grogu more, so you see more of Luke. Everybody loves seeing Luke. Those scenes in Book of Boba, out of place they were, but they were good scenes, but they fit better in Mandalorian, not in Book of Boba. Book of Boba would have been a little better. I still think it would have been pretty bad, but it kind of, seeing how bad they did rewrites, in my opinion, and how it kind of, a lot of the episodes just feel all over the place. Like they didn't write into a lot of these side quests very well. It's just kind of like, oh, there they are now. And it just felt like lazy writing, where I didn't feel that in the first 2 seasons of Mando. But they could have easily had it be with Luke and Grogu, but, you know, whatever. Here we go. And now even Star Wars fans, there's a lot of the blind positivity people that are cracking me up. They're just so happy to see Luke and Grogu settling down. Like, oh, they're gonna just live happily ever after. I'm like, did you also hear the part in that same fucking story where they're going to be going on missions and going after Thrawn? Did you, like, these dudes are so blindly happy they're ignoring part of the other story just to be excited for Luke and Grogu settling down. Which I don't think was going to be the case yet. I'm sure they would have that moment at some point, but it wasn't designed for it to be yet. Not on this season anyway. But a lot of them are just so excited because they see Grogu, and it's like, oh, just fucking kill me, dude. The Kenobi show wasn't that much better. It was better than Kenobi than Boba, and honestly, I think better than Mando Season 3. But I don't rate it too highly either. The writing was kind of all over the place, and it didn't really make a lot of sense. Some of the scenes they shot weren't really that good, but no. And then you go to a show like Andor, which made so much sense. One of the only problems I had with the writing in Andor was, I even forget about it when we talk about it now, but he was looking for his sister. It's like, whatever happened to that? But the rest of it was so good. And the acting, oh my goodness, the acting in Andor is probably the best acting in Star Wars, which is pretty crazy when you think some of the actors they've had in Star Wars, you know? It's like, and then you go to Kenobi, where I didn't really like the acting at all, and it's like, what? And frankly, the CGI looked worse in Kenobi than it did in Andor, when I thought Kenobi would be the one that is a way bigger budget, since it's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, compared to Andor, just Andor, you know? Like, just, I don't know, man. Star Wars they're doing some weird shit right now. I don't fucking know. Now, for me, it's putting a lot of pressure on Ahsoka to be good, and I don't know. I have a feeling we're gonna see Mando and Grogu in Ahsoka now. And I think that ultimately could have always been the plan. Again, if they ended on the decision to bring Grogu back, you know, they might have brought him back for Ahsoka then, if they had written it out that way, but I just hope we get past where the Grogu decision keeps affecting the writing negatively, and I hope we just get past that and move on. But it's already messed up or damaged at the very least 2 shows, and I don't know, man. I don't know what idiot thought that was a good idea. I swear to God, dude. What idiot thought it was a good idea to bring him back? Andor was slow, but they built up time and they wrote it in well. Plus, again, and the acting was good. And it didn't have any huge clickbait stuff to try to carry it, which is one of the main reasons people didn't like it. But at the same token, everybody's like, Andor's slow, which, yeah, some of it is, no doubt. But then you go to shows like The Mando, where there's literally not enough time to fit everything in. And even worse in Boba, where they couldn't. Hold on, what's the matter now? Okay. Weirdo. But now they just rush a lot of it, and it's like, I don't know. I'll take Andor slow and build up properly than rush it where it just feels like they're just randomly piecing shit together in 8 episodes. I think for future Star Wars shows, they need to get up to at least 10 episodes and have them not be like 30 minutes long episodes. They gotta up this shit for live action. Give you more time to write stuff in, and it sounds like they're doing that with Ahsoka. I read a tweet, and again, I don't know if it's true or not. We'll just take it with a grain of salt. But there's only 8 episodes, but they're going to be 60 minutes each, which I think will help a lot. Because 20 minutes, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you do 20 minutes each episode, that's going to help you and leave a lot more room to write stuff in. So you're not just kind of jumping around as much. Like, I hate talking about feels, but honestly, Andor felt way more like Star Wars than any of this other shit I've seen. Like, if you take Vader out of the Kenobi series, I wouldn't be that excited, honestly. Like, I'm cool with Inquisitors. I actually really like the idea of Inquisitors, but... What's her name? Reva? No, what's her name? It's Reva. Is it her? I know people are gonna hate me for saying it. I didn't like her acting in it, honestly, and I rarely call out actors for bad acting, but she just was. I was not feeling her. Where, in terms of the character, I'm okay with it, but I did not really like her. Now they're 30 to 40 minutes. I saw somebody say they were 60 minutes, but yeah, 30 to 40 minute episodes in Ahsoka really worries me. If it is, I really hope it's 60 minutes. Didn't Andor have like 14 episodes or something? I'd rather them go down that route, honestly, than 8 episodes. Almost double the episodes. And then if you do make them that many episodes, you could make that each episode a little shorter, but I don't know, man. Yeah, but you know how modern Star Wars is now. You call her out now, you're all of a sudden sexist and racist, so. But her line delivery, at times, not always, at times, I could not fucking get behind it. It looked like she was pushing, trying to be evil, and it didn't, her line delivery wasn't good. I don't know how much of that was poorly written lines from the writers and how much of that was her delivery, but I was not a big fan of it. There was even times I was not really liking Kenobi's reactions to things. Like, I forgot what episode it was, but I think it was when they first escaped with Leia, and they're like going to get a ride with that weird little like cowboy in the middle of like some desert planet, and she starts walking away to get a ride, and he's like, "Huh? What's going on? What are you doing?" Like it was like, "What are you doing, Kano? Clearly you know what she's doing. You've been around the block. She's clearly going to get a ride." But the way they had him act, I'm like, "Oh, come on, man, Ewan McGregor, I fucking love you." But again, I don't know how much of that is line delivery or the particular lines the writers gave him. I don't know, but it left me wanting for more, which I'm like, oh. And then we go from that to Andor, where the acting is fucking top notch. Jesus Christ, the actors in that, chef's kiss. Fucking Skarsgård over there, dude. Fucking MV motherfucking P on that shit. Even what's his face? I'm forgetting his name, but the dude who's like in everything. What's his name? Oh man, dude who played Golem. What the fuck? I know it. Andy Serkis. Amazing job. Even Andor did an amazing job. I don't think it's made for children. Definitely they're part of it and they gotta keep the children into it, no fucking doubt, but that doesn't really work. You can say Star Wars was made for children, but clearly those children from the originals have grown up, and even if that's still the case, you still gotta balance it then. So just having it made for children is a fucking dumb idea, because you know you have fans that were maybe once children, but they're not children anymore. So you have to adapt the writing to that. Like, that's not an excuse for me. This isn't some new shit they just put out and randomly like, oh wow, Star Wars is a success. Bro, those people who were first kids when they watched it are now adults with kids and grandkids probably, like. And you know they're still fans, so you gotta think about that too as a writer. That's what, for those who hadn't watched, before we got Mando Season 3, and after Andor, everybody was like, what's your favorite? And I go, man, it's a close tie between Andor and Mandalorian. Mandalorian is better, the first 2 seasons were better at advancing the Star Wars story. They had more clickbait. You're going to see more exciting characters that, you know, you're going to get your Luke Skywalkers and you're going to get that shit. Andor's not going to do that. But Andor carries by its writing and shit along those lines and acting. And it makes sense, because it doesn't just show the good guys being amazing. Like, they're taking L's. The stormtroopers are being actually good stormtroopers and killing people from now on, you know. It's not just some boring, the stormtroopers can't hit shit. They did a more nitty-gritty Star Wars, which I really liked. And I was like, man, this is close, man. Like, I still think I gotta give the edge to Mando, because it advances the story. And honestly, it gets us closer to Thrawn, which is what I want. But after these 2 seasons, or after the 3 seasons of Mando and negating the writing for Grogu, honestly, I'd say my number 1 thing now is Andor. And hopefully they don't butcher it for season 2, but which worries me, honestly. They're gonna be like, oh wait, people like this now that came back? Oh, let's start fucking it up too. Like, no man, don't do that, please.
Hey, we've got a new ally.
Then you have those people on Twitter when it comes to Reva or whatever her name was. Again, we always talk about these like blindly positive people, which just fucking annoy the shit out of me, but they're out there praising Reva for being like some amazing actress, and I'm like, dude, that's a fucking push, dude. You could like her character, but amazing act, nah, dude. You got fucking Skarsgård. That's an amazing actor right there. Like, her acting and it was not that good, to be fair. But, and again, I rarely call out actors or actresses, and they all do a better job than me. No, that you can't act. I know I fucking can't act. So guess what the fuck I do? I don't fucking act. Like, you know, it's like, oh man. Maybe she's been good in other stuff, and again, I don't know how much of it's her line delivery or the particular lines themselves that somebody wrote, and that wouldn't be her fault then. She's just reading what they tell her, but there were times she talks like that, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like if you're talking to a kid trying to make you sound scary, and it was just like, you're reading a story to him, like, and then the bad guy showed up, and he talked like this. Like, it's just, oh, fuck, man. Like, I just, you know. But if that was a white male playing that character, you would love him. Like, okay. I also called, what's that white male character that was in Kenobi? The musician from Red Hot Chili Peppers or not? Oh my god, his acting was atrocious. I was like, I hope we don't see a lot of him on screen. I was happy when they got rid of him. He clearly is not an actor. So there goes that theory on why I don't like Reva. I feel like that's, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, like, I know there's a large group of Star Wars fans who are just going to blindly love it, because they're just, it's basically a war between the people who are willing to call it out. Well, let me rephrase that. There's a war between people who are just going to hate anything Star Wars other than the originals, and then the people who are just going to blindly love it no matter what. And then you have people like me in the middle who are just like, dude, I just want some good Star Wars, bro. You make it good, I'll say it's great. I don't give a fuck what people think about it. I'll say my opinion, and then if it's bad, I'm also going to tell you that, but sadly, I don't think there's enough of people like me, or at least we're not really, we might even be the majority, but again, with even politics, we're not the loud ones on social media. They're the ones over there fucking screaming at each other like, oh, you're racist if you don't like Reva and shit. And then you got the other side just hating her and starts trolling, making racist things. So it's like, those are the two sides that get listened to the most, unfortunately. And they did a lot of that with the sequels when they kept bringing up, like, you just hate it because of women and shit. Like, Star Wars themselves just helped fuel the fire with that shit. I'm like, oh, God, here we fucking go, dude. Shouldn't have done that.
Placing charges at the front hill pipes.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised I remember her name, Ben. I'm actually really surprised. I'm horrible with names. For some reason, I remember hers.
Rearming for close attack.
The sister, I remember that more. I'll see you later, Carson.
Final countdown initiated. Defend the front fuel pipes.
I was a kid when the prequels came out, so I wasn't hating on the actors. I did, though. I remember as a kid feeling Attack of the Clones was kind of boring, and when I'm watching them back, that's the one I didn't really want to watch as much. So that was definitely my least favorite, but I wasn't like, wow, Anakin actor sucks. Yeah, that's the problem, though. I'm too honest. Since Star Wars is mainly downhill now, and they're like, all you do is complain. I go, I'm just telling you what the math equation they put. If they say 2 + 2 is 4, I'm gonna tell you that. And right now they're saying they're showing it's bad, so I'm gonna say it's bad. I fucking hate it. You know how many people were talking shit about Andor, and I'm over here like, dude, I fucking love this shit, bro. Minus it felt a little slow, but again, they also have a bunch more episodes to write it in, unlike the other ones. I think that's one of the reasons a lot of that felt that way. You could spend more time on each given dilemma, where Mandalorian is a different style, where you go see Lizzo and they're done with it that episode, which luckily in that case I think it worked out. I didn't want to see Lizzo for 2 episodes in that particular storyline, luckily.
Forces are diminished, and the Republic cruiser is ready to launch.
Oh no, her acting was terrible. I agree. I do not like Reva's acting. I'm racist though, that's the secret. I just don't like her because she's a black female, that's why. Yeah, that's a big part of what they do, Kaiser. I can't stand that shit. Well, at the same time, yeah, you do got to give a little hate to the directors, because, hey, if I'm a director and I see Reva's poor line delivery, hey, come here, Reva, you know, could you do this a little better? They should call them out on that too, honestly. So you do need to blame the directors a little bit. But even then, so like, do we just praise the directors in Andor then? Or is he just that good to make sure he got good acting? Or did they just get good actors to play the characters? I don't know. Skarsgård is a great fucking actor though. So I don't know. That dude kills a lot of the roles he's in, man. Reva, I don't know what she's, you know, I don't know any of her previous work. And if I do, I don't recognize her, so I don't know. But again, hey, if you know you're going to be working with an actor or actress that's not as developed, you could say, I mean, yeah, you probably want to direct it a little better. Like, hey, that line delivery, I'm not feeling it, redo it. Yeah, the directors aren't the problem for politics. That's a deeper issue, unfortunately. But in terms of why I didn't like Reva's acting, yeah, I can call out Reva too. But at the same time, yeah, the director probably should have been like, yo, you got to do a little better on this line delivery and reshoot. And I don't feel like a reshoot would take that long. So, but again, I'm not a director, so I don't know the way it works. But what's the little fucking thing they have? The little box where you clap it and like, cut, come here, Reva. You need to do this better, you know. I honestly don't even remember if that's what she was blaming him for. I don't remember, to be completely honest. That's true. I did like the flips and shit. They made him look not so bland. Not like some super heavy guy that can't jump, and then you go to the Clone Wars where everybody's like mauling them or fucking doing flips and shit just for the fun of it. But even then, I remember, myself included, I didn't really like the scene where she's running across the rooftop. It was kind of like they're just throwing it in there. I'm like, oh my god. I want to see some good lightsaber duels, man. We need some good lightsaber duels where more Clone Warsy. And to me, you should get that in Ahsoka, but now I don't know if we will. Some of the screen or the clips from the show, I'm not so sure we're going to get that, but Ahsoka is the prime example of someone who would be doing that. She's already very agile and fast and trained them. Where with Luke, I get you could make the case he hasn't been, so he's going to not do as much of that, but... Yeah, Reba was also in Tremors. Reba McEntire, I think that's her last name, right? Who was that? Like, if I ever had to call out a director, it was, whatchamacallit? Well, I've already forgot his name, but the one in Book of Boba. Oh man, I could not get enough of that motherfucker. Actually, that dude was fucking irritating me. I still remember, for those who were new, we caught on quick that the episodes he directed were extra worse. Like, they were pieced together bad. There was a lot of mistakes that were left in. Like, for example, the 2 Gamorrean guards are behind Boba in one shot, and then literally they cut away instantly, and now they're gone, and now they get attacked, and you're like, where's the guards? I don't know. And then like a minute later they come in when they were literally just a foot behind them. That's very bad. Everything, you know. But again, that could be rewrites. But his directing, whatever his name is, I already forgot, was so bad we could tell. I forgot what it was. I think he directed 3 episodes, and we had already had 2 where we're like, we can tell when he's directing. And then I was like, okay, I know he does one more, but don't tell me which episode. And we went into the episode, and I'm like, it was this one, because it sucks. And like, you could tell when he directed it, because it was pieced together so bad. Like, when he had those scenes shot, he just didn't film them very well. He was leaving too many holes, and like, when you can call, like, if, that's one of the good things about having many directors in one thing, because you can kind of, they make themselves stand out a little bit, because you're comparing them directly to other directors, and it's like, well, man, this guy fucking sucked. Forgot his name, but yeah. Like, yeah, I don't mind Book of Boba making him be more of a good guy and wanting to sit on the throne and even maybe do it for good reasons. But at the end of the day, Boba was an absolute badass, and the way they shot stuff they didn't film it properly. Again, we make the big case of the way he gets fucked up by whatever that big ass Wookiee is, and then he comes running down the stairs in a bathrobe. I'm like, dude, come down with a gun at least, bro. Like, it's like the decisions they made him make made him look stupid. It's like, what are you fucking doing? And we should have saved these a little better, but we had the whole case of the whole chase scene. I remember we broke down that scene and explained how they could have made it better and made it at least, even if he is himself not being a badass in that scene, it would have showed that he was smart and intelligent and was testing his people. But they didn't even shoot that. So it just, Boba was in the background not doing shit, and then he just lands there at the end. Where, I forgot exactly how we said it, but it was like, when they go off on the chase, that shitty speeder chase, might I add, and those Power Rangers go after him, it should have been like Fennec coming out, like, aren't you going to go get him? I want to see what they're capable of. You know, and then, so that automatically hints, he could solve the problem, but he's testing what his new recruits are doing. And then when they land, I forgot how it was, but he should have came down and had that fucking one female Power Ranger been like, why didn't you help out? Like, oh, I was just testing to see what you could do. Where just a quick little dialogue thing goes from, instead of him just showing up at the end and not doing shit, it would have been a whole different thing with just 2 quick dialogue changes of him teaching, or not teaching, but testing his crew. So you're like, oh, Boba does know what he's doing. He's intelligent. He's just testing his crew. Okay, that explains why he wasn't going after him, even though he has a jetpack. He could have easily stopped it, but they just have him fly in randomly at the end. So it's like, what, you were just flying up there not doing shit? Like, where just a few pieces of dialogue could change a whole outlook on a scene. The scene itself would still suck in terms of the speeder chase. It was so slow and just garbage, and then people trying to defend that shit. Ridiculous, but at least it would have helped make him look a little more intelligent. Like, yeah, I can get this guy, but I want to test what these guys can do. Just quick little dialogue changes could have a whole different outlook on an entire scene, and they just, you know. But then they're like, ooh, let's have Boba jump in at the end, and he'll do like some superhero-like landing. And I'm like, oh, so Boba was flying there, but he didn't do shit. Like, the fuck? Doesn't make sense. Because I would immediately defend that part of the scene, and we're like, all right, you know, he's getting older. He's still showing he's smart. He's picked up the stuff of his years being a bounty hunter. He's not a dumbass, but he's gonna test his new crew, which makes sense. That's Boba being smart. I'll defend that move. Fuck it, we're gonna be Boba because we're talking about him. But they didn't write it in, where it was again something so simple, and one of the things people called out could immediately be negated if they had just done that. And it's like, sorry, Han. I mean, and it didn't help that they made the fucking Power Rangers, like, the chase scene was so slow. And everyone like, oh, well, it's because it's a populated area. You try driving fast. I go, literally, all Star Wars has great chase scenes. Literally, Solo had an amazing fucking chase scene, even though everybody hated that movie despite me loving it. But it's like, no, dude, that chase scene fucking sucked. You could see where they tried to make it look like they were going fast with like cuts, and it was like, bro, we could all tell you're like not. It's like a grandma in a chase scene. Like, it just, you know, it was so fucking bad. And the fact that people still try to defend it just tells me everything I need to know about Star Wars fans. Some people are just so scared of like saying anything that sounds a bit negative. It's like, those are exactly the blind positivity people I'm talking about. They're just, to me, they're not realists. They're like, oh, we are fucking froze and we're gonna die out of bounds now. Oh, we made it, luckily. I mean, somebody, I saw the other day on Twitter, I don't know if it's true, again, take it with a grain of salt, but in some book or something where they're like talking about Book of Boba, I don't know if it was a behind the scene book or whatever, they claimed when Bane got, or what we thought is killed, they actually write down out of action, which if someone tells me, oh, he's out of action, I don't think he's dead, I think he's just injured. So it's people are using that as a bit of evidence that Cad Bane's still alive. I love Solo. I am not that harsh on it. A lot of it, I defended it at the time too. For those who just say I'm just looking for shit to hate on, I went against the grain on that one. I love Solo. I actually watched that movie back, and I don't watch many movies back. But a lot of the things people were saying was this is too woke, and Star Wars has definitely gone down that route. But Solo was not one of them. A lot of the shit he was doing was calling them out. It was almost like, how do you explain it? Like he was almost making fun of Disney by adding a super fucking politically correct droid, like trying to free him. And another bit of evidence I used against that is, I've explained it 1,000 times, I'm a broken record, but in one of the sequel movies, they had a scene where Chewie was gonna rip off 2 arms, and then they're like, oh, no, we can't do that, it's too graphic. What happens in Solo? In the elevator, he rips 2 arms off and holds them up. He's literally making fun of it, but people were so focused on hating on wokeness. I don't like wokeness either, by the way, side note, but I can at least tell when it's actually being that or just fucking with it. Like, he was making fun of a lot of the shit that was going on, and it was kind of taken over bad. But you could still say that was a mistake on his part, because you gotta know people are gonna be dumb. There's dumb people everywhere, but I absolutely love Solo. I thought the actors did a great job too. That's not Han Solo. Bro, you want fucking 70-year-old Han Solo to come back? Shut the fuck up, dude. Those actors did a great job for Lando and Han. No problem. And I like the direction they were going with Kira and then Maul and Crimson Dawn. They kind of had to change Maul now because people didn't like the show enough, so they kind of scrapped that writing they were going to do. But I still hope we get Kira and something, and young Han and them. I wouldn't mind. But I don't know if that will happen. But that might cause an uproar. But I'm not opposed to seeing young Han or Lando again. Fuck it, bring them in here. I don't give a shit. Have them be, honestly, in the next season of Ahsoka or whatever, even in Mando. Like, let's say that, you know how they're having a lot of scenes on Coruscant and a lot of the New Republic shit. Literally, if I'm directing, I'm like, yo, let's bring that actor in and just have him walk back by in the background. Like, Ahsoka's not there to talk to Han or nothing, but Han just got called there to go talk to Leia or something. Who knows? And you just see him walking by in the background, where it's just like, that's fucking Han Solo. But that's it. You don't go into it. They don't need him to talk. Just little things like that, and that sadly would probably trigger people. But I'm not against that shit. But. Yeah, I've rewatched Solo many times. It's a fun movie. There's another character we could have had in this game. I'm forgetting her name. What's her fucking name? The weird bitch with the big old staff. Turned out to be like some girl underneath that, whatever her name is. I know this, but I'm drawing a blank. That would be another character you could have added to this game. And Kira. Boom, there you go. And what's his face? Woody Harrelson's character. Fucking love that character, dude. Those are the type of characters I love right there. And the scene. Even the scene where... For another bit of evidence for all the people like, oh, he's going against the grain, or... Let me rephrase that. Everybody's like saying he's woke, but evidence that he's kind of making fun of the shit people talk about is the whole Han shot first thing. Han didn't shoot first. That makes him a bad guy. That's so stupid. They should have left the scene where he just shot first. And in this movie, what do? While he's literally talking, he just pulls a gun and shoots him. That didn't make Han look bad. It made Han look smart. He goes, this dude's a good duelist. And he's throwing his little monologue. Fuck that. I'm just going to shoot him. Literally, that was such a great scene where it's just like, he completely, basically says a fuck you to George Lucas, if you will. But like, you should have just left it the way it was. That was so good. But, oh, that makes Han look bad. It didn't make Han look bad. It made him look like an experienced gunslinger who's grown up in that part of the world. You know? Good guys are not always just straight, squeaky clean good guys. And that's what the first bit of Star Wars showed. And then they erased that with all the edits, unfortunately. And then he brought it back here, where he's like, no, Han shot first. Han will do that shit. Like, that is so good. Fucking love that shit. That would be the only part I had a problem with, Lando being into droids, but I wouldn't make him just into droids. Fuck it, we'll pick Lando because we're talking about. I'd make him be into a little bit of everything. Lando seems like the type. He's just like, dude, as long as my dick is happy, I don't give a fuck who's doing it. He kind of fits that to me more, but at the very least do that. But just having to be droids is kind of weird. Like, I would have either went down the thing where he's just gonna be willing to fuck whatever he's into, more like Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, where you're not questioning if he's a badass or not. He's just, dude, if it turns me on, I'm a fuck it. I'd rather them go down that route for Lando than randomly have him just be into droids. That was one part I'm like, that's a little weird. You got him in the original trilogy. He was fucking fucking the shit out of Leia. Rightfully so. Good taste, I must admit. And fuck, that's more woke. Now he's doing everything. I'm like, shit, I just gave some woke stuff, but write it in a little better. Got it now. Well, Lando, I'm not gonna be fucking a droid anytime soon. Yeah, I never got that vibe, even as a kid. I watched the original trilogy when I'm really young. I never got the. I mean, Han's a good guy, but he's not. How do you phrase it? He's not that squeaky clean guy. He's there for some money. He wants to make some money. He want to get his dick wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the dude who was just, yeah, I'm on the good guy side. And those are the characters I like the most, where it's not just squeaky clean. That's one of the reasons why in Star Wars I'm not really into the Jedi as much, where they kind of just make them out to be these squeaky clean good guys. And I'm like, dude, man, that would not be a Jedi. That's why I don't even mind him going that direction with Boba to a certain extent. They didn't do it right in Book of Boba, but I don't mind him going that route where he's one bad motherfucker who has done some bad things, but he's letting you know his life experience make him kind of want to go this way a little bit. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but the way they did it was bad. But I kind of want to watch Solo again right now, honestly.
Okay, that's enough. Let's get in there, clear out those troops, and let's storm the next sector.
Have you seen some of these droids people making in real life now? Jesus Christ.
Get it. We gotta secure the main gate and breach the base.
Bro, they showed a sex doll. I'm not gonna tell you what character and what game, but god damn, bro. If I was a rich man, I'd be like, you know, I'm down to try this out. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm willing to try this shit out. Just imagine once we get all this deep fake shit and all this then down that. What? Really? Through a fucking ceiling, bro? Yeah, I'd go down the Ahsoka path more if I had to choose. Not full Sith because they're a little too evil. But I'm definitely not opposed to just fucking snapping a motherfucker's neck when he annoys me. There gotta be a balance, you know? There gotta be a balance. Like, you know how many dudes are into these K-pop girls? And I'm not saying I am or not. You know, you can leave it up to your imagination. What happens when they start making sex dolls that look that realistic? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That's gonna be a fucking market right there. That's gonna be a fucking legal nightmare because they're gonna try to come down on that shit so hard. Oh man, that's gonna be a future battle on the courts right there. Your Honor, this clearly is supposed to look like Jenny of Blackpink. And this dude is fucking nutting on it every fucking goddamn day. He's using her likeness. Dude, that's not gonna stop. That's not gonna stop. It's gonna be getting made. There will be a black market for the people to fuck those things, man. You get with some fucking fat ugly bitch in real life and you're like, I'm gonna go get a droid. It's not cheating. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I don't give a fuck. It's coming. And they're gonna have all those fucking talk shows. Is it cheating if you fuck a droid or like a human like sex doll? And it's like, oh, here we go now. It's coming. Then once you make them affordable to the average Joe, oh Jesus. Like some of those dudes in Japan or something into some weird fucking shit, man. Oh my goodness. Marrying fucking dolls and shit. What the hell? What is this world coming to? Just fuck the doll like a normal man. Marrying it? You're fucking weird, bro. Fuck your plastic dolls all you want, but don't marry the damn thing. The fuck? What's gonna happen when... Oh, wow. This dude literally just, like, hit me and nothing happened. What's gonna happen when, one of those dudes who can legally marry a droid, then he starts making up some make-believe story that they're going through a divorce. And then the droid's gonna have to fucking win an argument or win some shit. Like, oh god. God, I don't want to be a judge when that comes out. I'm gonna fucking roast that dude. Like, listen, you dumb fuck. It's plastic. Shut the fuck up. Or silicone, whatever they make it out of. I'm not an expert on it. No, not by a long shot. I'm not an expert. I'll get real pussy, you know what I'm saying? But still. Yeah, they do some weird shit out there. Speed Lando again, why not?
Long odds, better pay off.
Let's stay away from the droids though. Lando might want to stick his dick in it. But to be fair, I thought, what was her name? What was her name? Lee or whatever? Ugly as fuck. That droid was ugly. Bro, if you're gonna fuck a droid, you better get a hot one, man. Should have a Princess Leia one, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, go make one of those. That would be a fun scene where he just walks in like, hello, Han. It's like, are you fucking a doll of my fucking wife? Oh, God. Please don't do that in Star Wars. Please don't.
I hope by now you're starting to trust.
I would die laughing if they did, but I don't think they should put it in Star Wars, but it would be fun if they did. Like, God damn it, Lando. Hey, I don't have no shame. Like, I could see him saying some shit like that. Like, alright. Lando seems like the type would be into that shit. That it? Well, that's rude. Somebody shoot that man! A deep fake of his friends? Nah, I'm a little too scared to do that shit. Some of those deep fakes getting good as fuck though. Just saying. I saw a dude make a deep fake and it wasn't even for sexual reasons of some K-pop girl. and it legit started a controversy where people thought she was like doing some shit,
All forces, get out of there. Run.
but it actually wasn't her. And it was like, oh fuck, man, we're going down a dark path here. That there's a lot of good that can come from that, but there's gonna be some really bad and some really fucking awkward at the same time. We're like, oh my goodness. I want to fuck my mom without fucking my mom. Like, don't do it, son. Don't do it. Oh my god. Imagine if you found your son jacking off to a deep fake of your mom. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to kill my son at that point. Like, what is this world fucking coming to? Dad, she's not real. Motherfucker, dude. Jesus Christ. That's where you just gotta pull out a knife and be like, you know what? Fucking man. We fucked up with this one. I didn't even know I was still playing. We're not getting any videos here, but let's see if we can find one more good lobby. Otherwise, I'll probably get off. Yeah, we're just barely getting into this whole deep fake shit. Oh my god. Will this be a good lobby? No, but it is just starting. Let's see if we can get it. Did we even get a video today? I'm not even sure we did. God, I wonder how videos will work on PC, because there's not going to be any good gameplay. I'm going to be so horrible. Again, that's even if my PC can handle that shit. Well, guess we'll just call it quits here. I don't think we're gonna find a good lobby anymore. But anyway, bye. See you guys later. My son was gay and looking at deepfake of me. I'm still killing him. It's fucking weird as a motherfucker. Jesus Christ. The fuck? Jerk off to your sister like a normal brother. Don't me, you fucking weirdo. What is this? Jesus. We should just end the stream on that too. Just be like, what the fuck? You know what? We're gonna do that. Okay, bye.